Hughes and Tyreek Mitchell in midfield, with Saranese supporting Mateta in attack. Red shirts, white sleeves, white shorts and red socks for Arsenal, attacking the goal away to our right in the first half. As the sounds of the angel swing around the Emirates Stadium. Crystal Palace in yellow from head to toe tonight. They shoot from right to left. Our referee is Andy Manley. He is on his own, no VAR this evening, or in any other of the Carabao Cup quarter-finals. Over on TalkSport 2, it's Southampton versus Liverpool. We'll keep you in touch with Brentford's trip to Newcastle. But here on TalkSport, live coverage from the Emirates, where the sloping roof rising over on the far side, then falling away down to the corner on this two-tiered bowl of red seats. They're full of Arsenal supporters, mainly in this stadium, with a few speckled spaces tonight. It's not 100% full, and the rain tumbling from the sky under the floodlights here at the Emirates. Andy Townsend, this is the first of 2 meetings in 4 days of Arsenal Crystal Palace, but it's no practice match.
No, it's not, Sam. It's a big game, an important game, a significant one for both teams. It really is. You get yourself into a semi-final, you can almost taste the Wembley appearance and maybe a trophy in your back pocket. So it's a proper game. It's one to win. Again, team that starts well and can get themselves in front tonight. Always difficult in these games, high pressure games, to come back if you go behind early on. So a great start, big incentive for both teams.
Confirmation of the shape as we anticipated. The Arsenal team with Partey, Timber, Kivior and Tierney lining up as the back four tonight. The ball is deep inside the Crystal Palace half over on the far side, and Caleb Kapori goes out over on the far side and throws the ball in. I think he was actually throwing the ball in after Kieran Tierney, who is making his first appearance since August 2023 for Arsenal, just slammed the ball straight out of play.
Yeah, he did. It wasn't his best first touch, was it? But there you go. Look, yeah, it's been a while. He's been away on loan, and so the Arsenal fans will be all eyes on Kieran Tierney. They want him to start well.
He throws the ball in from the left side towards Gabriel Jesus. It's smuggled towards the far touchline. He hoists it back in again, Tierney, and then it drops in midfield for Jorginho to flick it on. It lands at the feet of Trossard, and then Marino gets it up to Jesus, who's trying to take on Lacroix, who actually I think has looked a lot sturdier in recent weeks, and guides the ball out in the way for a goal kick away to our right hand side. 0-0.
Yep, he has, Sam. I totally agree. I think he's looked particularly good lately at both boxes as well, attacking it and defending it. Gay made plenty of top saves this season, no problem for the big centre forward, and Palace have a brilliant start.
Well, Arsenal failed to make up ground on Liverpool in the Premier League at the weekend. Mikel Arteta was hoping this competition could give his side some momentum heading into the busy Christmas and New Year schedule. It's the worst possible start at the Emirates, and there's a huge Crystal Palace contingent tonight because it's a cup game. They've doubled their allocation, and you can really not only see but feel the presence of the Palace fans behind the goal away to our right. They've got pretty much the whole of the bottom tier behind the goal that Henderson is defending. Yeah,
the perfect start, dream start for them. The worst possible start from Mikel Arteta on the home side.
Sterling trying to get in behind on the near touchline, but the flag is up very quickly before he can latch on to it, and it goes all the way through to Henderson, who will take a free kick from the edge of the box. So 0-0. Arsenal, who would expect to dominate possession and try and find a way to prise open what has started to become a sturdy back line, now have a bigger job on their hands after that goal from Mateta after just 3.5 minutes. And they've had a bit of an issue when it comes to scoring from open play, and that could be a cause for concern. And now Palace obviously got something to defend. It might actually make it for a slightly different game, because now Arsenal have got to come out and really try to carve open this Palace defence.
Well, look, first and foremost, they've got to get hold of the ball, and they've got to start building a little bit of momentum so early in the game to concede. The one upside, if you are going to concede and you concede after 3 minutes, well, you've got plenty of time. You don't have to panic to get the ball on the floor and start knocking it about.
Tierney down the left, finding Trossard, who quickly whips it into the path of Jesus, who's trying to outpace Gay, but Gay's so good at reading those situations. He just moves across into a really intelligent position and just edges Jesus off the ball and allows it to run out for a goal kick away to our right hand side, and Palace still lead by 1-0.
I think what they've shown there twice already, one with Lacroix and then with Mark Gahey, that any balls that are slid into the gullies for runners, those two guys in particular, and Chalobah's no slouch either, but those two guys more than happy to go shoulder to shoulder with anybody and run that all the way through and see it out for a goal kick.
Remember, Arsenal make 8 changes tonight. Kivior's misjudged another one. He can't keep allowing it to bounce like that. And Sarr is in behind down the right-hand side. He tries to juggle with it. He loses control because Tierney comes across and shuts off his route to the penalty area. And it goes behind off the Senegalese and out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. But Jakob Kivior has had a nervy start.
He has. Absolutely right. And that was another ball. Goal kick from Dean Henderson. Knocks it straight up into Arsenal territory, and the ball bounces, as you say, and Mateta and Eza, they're all chasing after it. Someone needs to go and take charge of that and put their head on it.
Well, Arsenal have looked a little bit rusty in the opening 7 minutes, and I think that's probably to do with the fact that this team haven't played together before.
No, bound to be a little bit of that. That's what I mentioned with Adrian at the start of the show, the fact that when you make 8 changes, you bring in a lot of guys that haven't seen a tremendous amount of game time, you keep your fingers crossed a bit that it's going to work. And it's not been a good start for Arsenal at all.
Ball cleared upfield and over the halfway line, looking for Sterling. He's then roughhousing Lacroix and gives away a free kick. Let's get a bit of build up to the game at St James's Park. Mark Wilson is watching that quarter-final for us tonight. Mark?
Yeah, there's a little late change for Brentford. Nathan Collins is coming for the injured Sepp Vandenberg. He's been injured in the warm-up. He misses out tonight, so Collins a late inclusion for Brentford.
Thank you very much. That's Mark Wilson, who will be keeping us in touch with whatever happens at St James Park tonight up in Newcastle, as Newcastle and Brentford vie for a place in the semi-finals. Newcastle have won just one of their last 5 games. Brentford have got a terrible record away from home. And something might have to give tonight at St James Park. Crystal Palace, who under Oliver Glasner have shown a tendency to be a little bit more pragmatic. Just defending here. Kapora going out to engage with Trossard. The ball goes back to halfway. Arsenal haven't really fashioned any sort of enterprising moment in the opening 8.5 minutes. They've barely got near the Palace final third. And Nwaneri now trying to change that by finding Marino. They then get Tierney in down the left-hand side into the box, tries to play it against Chalobah, whose arm appeared to be outstretched by the side of his body, and that engendered a response from Tierney that should be a penalty for handball. Yeah. But I think actually it was more tucked in than I initially thought.
Yeah, it does actually. I mean, Andy Madley immediately gestured to Kieran Tierney that arm was straight and it was tucked in, as you say. Did hit the hand, no doubt about that, but absolutely the right call.
It's going to be a corner, and look at what Crystal Palace are doing here. They're making Arsenal think. Now Arsenal, the set-piece masters, lining up with 3 at the back post, 1 slightly further forward, and now Jesus coming to disrupt. But at the other end, 3 players left up by Crystal Palace on the halfway line.
And Monaco did this in the Champions League, did exactly the same thing.
Here is the corner, far side, taken by Trossard, in towards that near post. It's snuggled all the way through, and it has to be cleared off the line by Jefferson Lerma, who reacted best to it. It swished all the way through the 6-yard box, then bounced up high on the line, and it was headed away. Back to Timber, left side of the box, tries to get it into the penalty area. Nwaneri is dispossessed. They try to bring it clear with Sarr, doesn't quite get there, and then the shot from the edge of the area, right on the angle on this near side, was from Jesus, but it was low and not firm enough, and easily caught by Dean Henderson, who drops upon it and will clear away for Crystal Palace. 10 minutes played. It's Arsenal 0, Crystal Palace 1.
It was actually Mateta at the near post who was a little bit weak with his challenge, which allowed that to skip across the
given away by Mitchell, and Sterling is in the area. It's back to Trossard over the bar from the edge of the box. It was cut back by Sterling, who'd robbed the ball on this near side from Tyreek Mitchell, who lost concentration. He laid it back to the 18-yard line where Trossard was arriving just inside the D. He approached the ball and slapped it right over the top of the crossbar.
Overplaying Palace, overplaying there, don't need to. Got a goal already, serve it forward up to Mateta. they're petrified of him in the first 10 minutes. Why don't you just keep doing that? Serve it forward. Don't take unnecessary risks.
Barcelona have beaten Manchester City women by 3-0 to win Group D of the Champions League. Barcelona 3, Manchester City 0. Arsenal, their women's side, play tonight in the Champions League. That is an 8 o'clock kickoff. We have Ian Abrahams there for that this evening. Busy week for the Arsenal women. They're in Oslo on Thursday night. Played at the weekend and then play again this evening. And they only won narrowly at the weekend. Alessia Russo's goal, giving them a 1-0 victory. Missed a penalty in that game too. Here is Partey for the Arsenal men, who want to get through to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, but they're trailing here to Crystal Palace thanks to a goal scored by Jean-Philippe Mateta. And they are a counter-attacking team. They're good at counter-attacking, Crystal Palace, because they move so quickly through the thirds. They're not afraid to be direct.
No, absolutely right. They've been particularly good lately with this shape, and it does work, this shape. I think particularly for a team now that are in front, can be hard to penetrate through the middle of the park. So again, Arsenal might have to go a little bit longer themselves and try and find perhaps Gabriel Jesus or Raheem Sterling one-on-one in the wider areas a bit.
And they've had a few initial teething problems, Crystal Palace, this season, but they've certainly found a bit of form recently. Unbeaten in 5 games coming into this in all competitions, winning their last two of the last 3 outings. Here is Tierney, far side, guides it back to halfway. Jorginho tries to launch it forward to Jesus. I think he might have been offside had it had gone through to him, but it didn't reach him anyway, and Crystal Palace clear. Again, a little bit hesitant in the way they challenge for the ball there. Partey guilty this time, and as Eze tries to wriggle through a tight gap of 2 players, it's Ethan Nwaneri who has to come back and win it.
Yeah, I think again the danger for Palace when you score in a big game like this so early on is that you tend to sit and bank up and perhaps not quite so adventurous. Don't allow Arsenal too much time. There's a long ball up the middle there from Jurrien Timber. Decent run from Trossard. It just skips through off this wet surface into Henderson's hands.
Well, of course, they took the lead after just 4 minutes against Manchester City just a couple of weeks ago, the 7th of December.
Yep.
On 4 minutes, Daniel Munoz scored.
Correct.
So it's a sort of repeat of that.
Yep.
That was at home, though. Erling Haaland hit back within 26 minutes on the half-hour mark. He scored. Maxence Lacroix put Palace back in front,
yeah,
only for Rico Lewis to equalise.
Yeah, led twice, yeah.
Here it's 1-0 to Crystal Palace, the visitors, on Carabao Cup quarter-final night. Newcastle against Brentford, Southampton against Liverpool is over on TalkSport 2. And there's a great breakfast show tomorrow, available from 6 o'clock in the morning, and the boys entertaining acting royalty tomorrow, as well as of course reviewing all of the week's Carabao Cup action. Ball sent down the near touchline by Thomas Partey. It's a poor delivery, went straight out of play, and it goes out for a throw-in. I think they will miss the rampaging runs and link-up play on the right-hand side of Daniel Munoz. I think he's been in particularly good form.
He has been good.
There's a chance for Kapora, isn't it? Because he's apparently impressed Glasner in training. He's been talking about that this week.
Again, I think early on, we've seen already that physically he looks a quick lad, and so physically not a problem to him. That's the one good thing about this Palace side. They are all very athletic. Will Hughes probably the exception to that.
Oh, given away by Jesus rather sloppily, and Sarah's picked it up, edge of the area, right-footed. Oh, spilt by Raya. I'm not entirely sure what he was trying to do there, but he sort of fumbled the ball away, didn't get his hand up quick enough, and then managed to guide it away towards the near touchline. Eventually it goes out for a throw-in. That looked like a little bit of a mishap, not once but twice by Arsenal, who really have started sloppily.
Yeah, they have. Sarr again, it is down the right side, just gets to the edge of the 18-yard box, slightly on the angle, hits it hard and low, and Raya gets behind it, but as you say, spills it enough out towards his opposite post, and Partey picks the ball up. But Arsenal just again trying to probe and are still trying to find a little route that just might give them a little bit of joy. So far that's not happening. Palace look pretty resolute, very strong, decent shape.
You know, what Palace mustn't do is give away free kicks and corners, because Arsenal have become maybe a little bit over-reliant on their conjuring tricks on set pieces.
Can they be as effective tonight, Sam, without the big guys, without Gabriel and Saliba?
Good point, yeah.
Are those corners going to have the same sort of effect? We saw one that was cleared off the line, but it's interesting to see whether they can really make them work again.
Sterling down the near touchline, trying to get past Tyreek Mitchell. Mitchell readjusts and gets a foot in and sends it away to safety. Gay gets it further clear. Eze takes it down. He's still inside his own half when he flicks it to the other side of the pitch, and Kapora now can bring it out from the right fullback position. He travels down the touchline, then turns under pressure from Trossard and goes back towards the 18-yard box, where it's with Maxence Lecroix of Crystal Palace in possession in those yellow shirts with thick blue trim. They move the ball up to halfway now with Tyreek Mitchell wide on the left, infield to Lerma. Lerma's crossfield ball from the halfway line, spread perfectly out to Kapora, who takes it brilliantly with a one-touch control, then motors towards the edge of the penalty area, then tries to skip infield and then clatters into Marino on the edge of the penalty area and gives away a free kick. He got a little bit over-eager there after losing the ball.
Yeah, but nonetheless, nice switch. When Palace do that, their wing-backs have got plenty of time and space. Kapora it was, who just got a little bit excited as he ran towards the edge of the 18-yard box and overcooked it, and eventually commits the foul and the pressure is relieved. But Oliver Glasner again applauding every time his team go for that forward pass and look like they try and find someone in a bit of space. That's exactly what he wants.
Well, the goal that separates these two teams has come from Jean-Philippe Mateta, who has got a terrific record under Oliver Glasner. The goals have sort of dried up recently. He's got only a handful this season, but he scored tonight. Here is Trossard clipping it in towards the near post. Lecroix takes charge before Henderson can come and grab on the edge of the 6-yard box. He dabs it away from the left wing cross. It's then cleared up towards Mateta, and Mateta
clatters
just
it
sort of uses his body as a battering ram and squashes Kivior into the ground.
But at least the Arsenal man got his head on that one, Sam.
He then very quickly nearly lost his head thanks to Jean-Philippe Mateta. Actually, when you look at the size difference between Kivior and Mateta, you can sort of understand why Kivior is a little bit reluctant to try and go up and try and win it aerially, because there is a huge difference between the two in terms of height.
So again, why wouldn't you hit him if on the diagonal? If Palace get over the halfway line and their options are limited, perhaps you can stand one up to Mateta and get Eze and get Sarr, people running in and around him, running off him, because he should win it 9 out of 10.
27-year-old who did have a knock at the weekend has just gone into the back line to defend this free kick for Arsenal, which is going to be taken midway between the halfway line and the penalty area on the near right-hand side. Wanyeri standing over it, so is Leandro Trossard. And Kivior moving to the back post. Marino, who's got a bit of height, is there too. Thomas Partey. They're the sort of three now that they'll have to aim at, because there's no Saliba or Gabriel, as we've already mentioned this evening. 8 changes for Arsenal. Wanyeri sending the ball curling towards the penalty spot. Partey heads it back towards Jesus. There was a bit of a weak effort to try and control it there. He was edged off it too easily by Tyreek Mitchell, but it's come back through to Partey, who can't control, and then Gay manages to clear from inside the 18-yard box. He's found Eze actually on the near touchline, who looks to scoot infield past Trossard and then can't get away from him. Trossard commits a foul. Not sure that was really.
Yeah, just run into a glut of red and white shirts there, Eze, but he's so confident and happy to do that. No, that's what I like.
Oh dear, and he's taken a quick free kick, which is aimed towards Raya, who was off his line, and it went sailing over the bar, fortunately for the Arsenal goalkeeper, but that was a little bit ambitious from Eze.
Yeah, he's 2 yards inside Arsenal's half. He sees David Raya off his line. He pings it beautifully. It's just always a little bit too big, but I was just getting on to the point about happy to receive the ball under pressure, Sam, and he's a fine example of that nowadays. You know you can trust him. You give him the ball and he'll protect it.
Yeah. And he has made such a difference at a time when they've had to up the ante and try and find a little bit of creativity. And he's a gem. Here on the right side, Wanyeri trying to get down the outside of Gay. Comes back on his left foot. Gay watches it all the way. I mean, he gets better and better every week, doesn't he, Mark Gay? I think there were a few eyebrows raised when he was given the England starting shirt at the European Championships, but he was the best performer. And he's been excellent for Palace.
Yeah.
He had a few wobbles actually earlier in the season when they were sort of trying out different combinations at the back, and it took a little while to find this combination. But since these three have come together, I think they've all excelled.
Well, I would imagine Oliver Glasner delighted that move to Newcastle never materialised when it looked like it might at some point in the summer, because as you say, he's a top player.
Thomas Partey throws the ball in from the near side. It goes onto the head of Merino, who tries to tee it up for Trossard. He went to pull the trigger at the back post and then miscontrolled. And then Will Hughes will eventually unpick a knot inside the area as Trossard goes down, feed Kapora, and he clears upfield. This time Jurrien Timber drags Mateta, so he can't engage with Kivior. And then Sarr commits a foul in a scrappy period of play, which eventually generates Arsenal a free kick 10 yards inside the Palace half of the field. It's 1-0 to Crystal Palace, live on TalkSport. Newcastle against Brentford is 6 minutes old. It's still goalless there. Southampton Liverpool starts at 8 o'clock over on TalkSport 2. Barcelona have beaten Manchester City women by 3-0 to win that group. And Arsenal take on Bayern Munich a little bit later on. Gueye, deep inside his own half, almost by the byline, touches the ball and feeds it to Eze. Eze tries to clip it up to Mateta, but Jurrien Timber is there. Jorginho back to Kivior, who chests it down. David Raya comes out of his goal and moves himself into the left full-back position to act as an extra man. Receives it, passes it straight to Timber, and Arsenal on the front foot again.
Yeah, without really testing Henderson enough, Arsenal starting to get a bit of momentum, starting territorially to play pretty much in Palace's half most of the time.
It took a while, didn't it? But they're starting to find that now. Here is Trossard down the left. He's scooting away from Kapora, and Kapora gets a yellow card for swiping away his leg. Now, he's pleaded his innocence, and so has Jefferson Lerma, but the free kick has been given, and it will be like a short hockey corner over on the far side. It was tight, that.
Yeah, it's a foul. It denies Leandro Trossard the chance of standing across up from the byline, so in that respect I think we'll go with the referee. It wasn't a nasty challenge from Kapora at all, it was just a foul, but it just denied Arsenal an advantage in that moment. Trossard just getting back up onto his feet, limping a little bit, but again, another free kick from a wide area. Arsenal have a number of red shirts all stacking up, as you're very aware, at the back post, ready to make those runs in and around those yellow shirts.
Let's see what happens from this latest delivery. Partey, Jesus, Merino and Kivior all loaded on the back edge of the 6-yard box, about a step outside it. It's wide on the left-hand side, the free kick. They're at the far stick, further away, closest to us. We're level with the edge of the 18-yard box inside the end of the ground that Arsenal are attacking, away to our right. Dean Henderson just organising his line, and it's it's about almost level with the kick that's being taken. The line is on the edge of the 6-yard box. Lerma's just retreated now as the ball about to come in from Trossard, who puts one hand in the air. They're going to reset here because they went a little bit too early, the Arsenal aggressors, and now Will Hughes has got too close to the ball, so the referee's being pernickety. Here is the eventual delivery by Trossard, right under the goalkeeper, who punches it away with relative ease, and then Eze gets it up towards Kapora, who's wrestled but doesn't end up getting a free kick, and then it's up to the halfway line and Jorginho, but Arsenal win it back with Thomas Partey, 20 yards inside Palace territory, onto Jesus, tackled from behind. Nwaneri emerges with the ball from a knot of yellow shirts. Nwaneri twists and turns but holds on to possession. He's got really no route to anyone in red. Eventually finds Sterling near touchline, and then he has to go back to the halfway line. Yeah,
Palace doing their job there, just forcing Arsenal backwards, gentle pressure, keeping your shape. Nobody diving in.
Jesus looks to try and beat the offside trap, brings the ball down as the ball goes over the top. He gets into the penalty area and then took too long, turned away, declined the opportunity to run into the penalty box. And when that ball goes over the top, Andy, did he need to sort of try and control it so it went in front of him?
Yeah, maybe. He had a chance to get the shot away as well, even after his first touch there, Gabi Jesus, but didn't take it, recycled it, and Palace get the chance to recover. And that's the problem sometimes. You know, you can find a good pass, it can put someone in a good area. If you keep chopping back out and going and restarting and recycling, which a lot of teams do nowadays, you give your opponents a chance to recover and get back.
Arsenal have only scored 18 goals from open play. That's fewer than 8 clubs in the Premier League this season. One of those is Wolves. And they are struggling to find those sort of devastating transitions that would demolish any side that was too open against them. They could always appear to prize open even the deepest of blocks, but that has deserted them in recent weeks. There's been a breakthrough in the game at St James's Park. It's only 10 minutes old. Which way's it gone? Mark Wilson.
Newcastle 1, Brentford 0, and a goal for Sandro Tonali, his first in 16 months. Good work, Livramento down the right, put in a great cross. It was cleared off the 6-yard line. It fell to Tonali 20 yards out, and he rifled it in the bottom corner. Newcastle 1, Brentford 0.
Not in great form, but they have won 6 of 10 home games this season, Newcastle United, and they're in front this evening at St James Park. Southampton Liverpool coming on TalkSport 2 in just a few moments. In fact, just 4 minutes away from kickoff in that game down at St Mary's. If you want to listen to TalkSport 2, pretty easy. You can download our app. You can flick between the stations, TalkSport and TalkSport 2. We've also got Talk Radio on there. We've got Times Radio, Virgin Radio Anthems, all available for you on the TalkSport app. Just download it. Give yourself a little Christmas present. Nice early one. Download it. You can flip between the two.
Yep, Arsenal are still trying. I do think the way forward for them might be like that pass to Gabriel Jesus about 3 or 4 minutes ago, Sam. Something a little longer. A couple of short passes, and then all of a sudden ping one out into the wide areas to try and get Sterling. Trossard in particular. Kapora, young man, now on a yellow card. Just now with that ball through for Gabriel Jesus, he was the deepest defender, Kapora. Now as a wing-back, that should never be the case. So he just might have got rattled a little bit. And I think you've got to keep working that area. You've got to test him and ask him questions.
27 gone. Nwaneri miscontrols. Hughes forward, chested down by Eze, then flicked forward down the left-hand side for Mitchell. Mitchell trying to speed away from Partey. And Partey rather clumsily, I think after a bit of contact from Mitchell, puts the ball out down by the corner flag, and it's away for a throw to Crystal Palace. 27 gone, Arsenal 0, Crystal Palace 1. The goal coming after 3.5 minutes. A long straight ball from Henderson, was allowed to bounce by Kivior, misjudged it. Mateta didn't, took it down, went wide towards the left edge of the 6-yard box, and then squeezed it into the far corner across David Raya, and they lead by a goal to 0 as a result of that. Since there are very few Arsenal opportunities, actually, Andy. I don't think Dean Henderson really has been called into action too many times. If you look at the shot count so far, they've had 2 shots on target so far, but I don't think they've really troubled Dean Henderson.
No, they haven't. Not really. What they haven't done is stretched or disrupted that Palace central 3 defenders. Haven't really got them scrambling and lunging in and trying to make desperate tackles on the edge of the box. That's when you have to be very, very careful. But so far, everything's been in front of Palace and they're able to deal with it.
Here is Sterling on the near side. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it, but social media has been awash with memes and AI images of Arsenal's best in Stoke shirts in a nod of their penchant for set play routines. It's a bit disingenuous, really, because they are a team that actually over the last couple of years have finished second twice, been very good actually in possession of the football, but there is valid concerns, I think, that they have been leaning on dead ball situations too much in recent times.
Maybe, because I don't think they've been at their absolute imperious best for a few weeks, really, Arsenal. They got through that blip, seemed to get that sorted out, but I don't think they've got absolutely up to full speed. But those set plays, if you work at them and take time on them, and clearly they do, then you can make them work. Eventually, as we've seen tonight already, with one corner, Palace left 3 up, which means Arsenal have to send 3 back, which obviously leaves you a little bit vulnerable, maybe if the goalie catches it and pumps one up the middle. So there will be ways to counteract it, but Arsenal have been good with them.
Trossard into Jesus, edge of the area, trying to wriggle free, gets dragged to the floor by Lacroix. It's going to be a free kick 3 yards outside the box.
That's the first one we've seen. A ball into Gabriel Jesus' feet, a yard outside the box, and a little bit of a lunge, and all of a sudden a free kick given on the edge of the box. Lacroix getting just a little too tight. He's grabbing the shirt and the arm of the Arsenal centre forward, concedes the free kick. Absolutely prime position this to nip something over the wall and keep it under the bar.
Well, Urin Timber has gone over to mediate between those who are putting their hand up to take it. It's almost like they're queuing to take it. Trossard is there, Sterling is there.
There's a committee there, isn't there, around the ball?
Marino's gone across. Kivior's been sent away into the wall. Jorginho's standing in front of Dean Henderson in an offside position, and referee Andy Madley has just gone over and said to him, well, if you stand there you will be obscuring the view of the goalkeeper, and that means that you'll be in an offside position.
He's there originally now. He's there now to just try and disrupt Dean Henderson getting that wall in the best possible position.
Yeah, that's all he's done. He's actually walked away now.
Now he walks away, he has to, because he knows he'll be offside. But again, minor details don't really affect Henderson. He's able to see through that and round that and sort that wall out. Now it's got to do its job.
Fourth start for Raheem Sterling in an Arsenal shirt. He's placed the ball down. Trossard is there as well. And Trossard, who has 4 goals already this season, steps up, leaves it for Sterling, who's looking for his second Arsenal goal, and he hits it right-footed over the wall, and it's palmed over the top by Henderson. It was a good save.
Lucky. Good strike that from Raheem Sterling, because that did have the dip on it. That was coming down under the bar. I tell you what, it's a decent stop that. Dean Henderson at full stretch, right arm out. Has to make sure he gets a good hand on that, and he does. If it had been just a fraction more into the top corner, I don't think he gets it.
Yeah, he just needed to be just this little bit over to the side, didn't it, to really outfox Henderson. Still 1-0 to Crystal Palace. Ball out over on the far side, then a corner for Arsenal. Again, everybody very deep at the back edge of the 6-yard box for Arsenal. And now they start to move towards the near post as the ball goes high towards that back post. Marino has kept it alive. He's tried to loop it towards the far stick and looked for it to drop in the far corner, but he couldn't do what Thomas Soucek did against Wolverhampton Wanderers the other day. Instead, the ball goes out of play and away for a goal kick.
Yeah, and I think that's actually sensible there, that option from Trossard, because they don't have Gabriel and Saliba, who are their chief protagonists when it comes to these corners. He went big there, Trossard. He looped it to the far post. The others ran towards the near post. Marino stayed put, and he did the right thing. He tried to head it back towards that far post, but just a bit big.
It was interesting listening to Mikel Arteta actually after the game on Saturday, when it was sort of fed to him that was the 3rd Premier League match in succession that Arsenal had failed to score from open play. He said, well, we did score 3 from open play in midweek against Monaco.
Did he? Is that what he said?
Yeah. So don't get too excited. He doesn't really care where the goals come from. He doesn't think they come. He was actually telling this story. It was a bit convoluted. It was about 2 bottles of water. But the idea was, I think, it doesn't matter where the goals come from as long as they come.
Right, got it.
He said, you can put them into 2 different categories, but I have just 1 big bottle of water.
Got it. Been reading a few of them coaching manuals, hasn't he?
I think he has, yeah.
Too many of them.
Ball hooked clear by Kivior up to halfway. Drops down the head of Gay and out towards the right hand side into Mateta, who uses his frame well, then tries to feed it into Sarr, who just burst beyond him and down that right hand side. They've got it back again thanks to Will Hughes, who I think has been very good actually this season for Crystal Palace, and he's lost it and then won it again and then got back and tried to win it some more, and eventually he has got it back for Crystal Palace. Gone back to Jorginho though, and now Arsenal come forward with Marino down the left hand side. He's about 3 yards in from the touchline when he sends it on further wide towards the left, and Jesus, it goes back to the centre of the penalty area looking for Sterling, but it's too far in front of him, and Gay is there to stab it out and away for a throw-in over on the far side, level with the edge of the box. Arsenal on the attack.
Yeah, because they got those 3 centre-halves, Palace. When that ball arrives in the box, they've just got those extra numbers, that extra yellow shirt there to get a block or get an interception. So Arsenal trying hard. They've had pretty much the lion's share of it now for a good quarter of an hour or so, without, again, working Dean Henderson quite enough. But I think Arteta will feel that eventually now his team are getting up to speed. Palace have become now accustomed to just sitting. They're sitting there, they're trying to bank up, they're waiting without seeing a lot of the ball.
Nwaneri deep inside his own half, being forced back by Eze. Sends it on to Thomas Partey, who's just swung into the centre for a moment as Timber has walked out of defence and into midfield. It's up to Jesus and then out to the left, and now it's with Tierney, whose ball into the near post is flicked on by Marino. Doesn't quite reach Raheem Sterling, and it's cleared away again by Crystal Palace, and Mateta again winning it in front of the defence, but Sarr, then when it came to him, just too heavy with his touch, and Arsenal have it once more.
Yeah, poor touch. The ball is again the Palace clearance into the feet of Mateta, bumps it back to Sarr. As you rightly point out, Sam, poor touch, and once again Arsenal have the ball. Can they find an extra runner into the box, the red and white shirts? Can they get someone else in there to just pull Guéhi, Lacroix and Chalobah around a little bit more, stretch that line and ask a few more questions, open up a few gaps?
Yeah, sometimes the football's been a little bit safe from Arsenal. They might need to sort of stretch it out towards the flanks as well and start playing it with a greater tempo to try and prise open this very stubborn Crystal Palace defence that is well set so far. Sterling trying to be a bit braver and cut past 3 yellow shirts. And then Jurrien Timber kicks the ball at Lerma, saying that he delayed the restart. Referee Andy Madley says, no, you kicked it at him, I saw that. I'm not going to book him for it. It's going to be a free kick that we will now wait for, just short of the centre circle. 10 minutes to go before half-time.
Aren't we great sports, us footballers, eh? Aren't we? We're always there to offer a hand to help someone up, and instead of that, we want to get everyone booked, don't we?
Yeah. I mean... How is Carl Walker, by the way? Is he finished his prescription yet?
Oh dear, don't.
Well, that went down about as well as Carl Walker, didn't it? Yeah.
What was he thinking there?
Here is Jorginho trying to turn and feed the ball over the top, looking for the run of Trossard. It's away by Chalobah. And then caught by Partey, and then he turns it into Nwaneri, gets it back again. Jorginho is being harassed by Mateta just in front of the halfway line. Again, a lot of the football happening in this sort of area of the field, that no man's land between the edge of the centre circle and the edge of the D, where Arsenal can have possession. Palace are happy for them to have possession. What they don't want is for them to try and get the ball into the box. They might do that now with Nwaneri trying to get it back to Trossard before he can. Lerma is there snapping through up to Sterling, round the corner to Partey. His ball is poor through the 18-yard box.
Yeah.
And it goes out for a goal kick away to our right.
Some nice intricate football from Arsenal. It's got to be perfect. It's a really fast surface tonight. One or two touches there in the middle of the park. He eventually comes out to Thomas Partey. Got himself in that wide right position. The cross, though, I'm afraid evades everybody. It goes out for a goal kick. Just seeing a rerun on our monitors here, Sam, of the Mateta goal. How he holds Kivior off, waits, has a little look, and then slots it very calmly and coolly past David Raya.
It's the moment that the ball comes towards Kivior and he sort of doesn't commit to the header. It's sort of half-hearted as he goes in and almost heads it against Mateta. It's really poor that allows it to go through. It's picked up by the Frenchman and he runs right through the middle of the Arsenal half and slots home for 1-0, and he's got it again on the edge of the penalty area, controls it on his thigh, takes it down the right side, looks to try and turn it back to the edge of the box. He thought someone was there, they weren't. Jorginho was, and he picks it up for Arsenal. Instead of releasing that down into the left channel for Sterling to sprint into, he then played it just sideways to Nwaneri.
Yeah, and he played it to feet, Sam, as well, and you're right, it lost all the momentum. When they turned the ball over there, Mateta lost possession on the edge of the Arsenal 18-yard box. And then once they get it into the middle of the park quickly, they've got to then look for something incisive to turn Palace around and really give Trossard and Sterling a chance.
Yeah, and it was just a little bit too safey and not enough in terms of ambition, I think, with the ball. Good start, though, at Meadow Park in Boreham Wood. Here's TalkSport's Ian Abrahams.
7 minutes gone, Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 0. The goals officially gone down to Caitlin Ford. A corner played in. I think it was actually Magdalena Eriksson who headed it into her own net. Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 0.
So, Ian Abrahams, just to clarify, Arsenal scored from another set piece.
It's another set piece. I'm going to have to put it to the manager later. They're just like Stoke ladies.
Careful. Well, we are putting our tongue firmly in our cheek there. It's Arsenal 0, Crystal Palace 1. This is TalkSport, and Arsenal leading 1-0 in the Women's Champions League as well against Bayern Munich. Thomas Partey gets it back to Jakob Kivior. We've got 6 minutes before half-time. I think Mikel Arteta, he's changed 8 players tonight. I think he'd be a little bit disappointed with what he's seen so far from his team, especially from an attacking perspective.
Correct. It's been a bit tame, Sam, in that respect. I wonder whether at half-time he might consider a couple of big changes. You know, they are on the bench. He's got Saka, he's got Odegaard. Is it Saliba and Gabriel, both of them too?
Yeah.
You know,
Saka, Martinelli, Havertz, Saliba.
There you go.
Gabriel.
I'd be very tempted for one at least.
Eze has it halfway. Arsenal again thwarted. They can't get anywhere near that 18-yard box. Lacroix into centre field, controlled by Will Hughes, who's the only one on the pitch with blonde hair, almost white hair, blonde, white. Will Hughes, who stands out a mile in that centre circle. He plays the ball forward, picked up to Lerma. Lerma then switches the play towards the left-hand side of Mitchell. Mitchell tussling and fighting with Sterling, and it goes all the way back to David Raya. Yeah, that's natural, that blonde hair. It is. He doesn't dye it like that.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Do you know he's been a really good steady player, Will, and he's very, very cool and calm with the ball at his feet, sees things nice and early, has a simplicity to his game. Doesn't obviously want to get involved in too much physical stuff, doesn't want to go shoulder to shoulder over 50 yards with anybody if he can help it, but he never gets himself in those sort of positions where he's too vulnerable. He's a very smart footballer.
He came off the bench in the game against Liverpool earlier in the season and he turned the tide. They were under the cosh, they were already having a kick in the game actually in that match, and then he came on and everything changed, and they ended up having great chances at the end of that match and could have got back into it. Here's Nwaneri, edge of the Palace area, out to the right, collected by Sterling, clipping the ball towards the far post. Marino is trying to get there, but Kapora got there first and nudged it out for a corner.
Better, because they had better numbers in the box there. Nwaneri it was who fed Raheem Sterling out on this right hand side, one touch just to settle it, stands it up, not a special cross, but it just gives one or two a chance to get in there and make the numbers up. They do that, and as a result they get a corner.
Arsenal lead. Arsenal behind by a goal to nil against Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup quarter-finals. Arsenal 0, Palace 1, Newcastle 1, Brentford 0, Southampton 0, Liverpool 0 over on TalkSport 2, and Arsenal lead 1-0 in the Champions League, the Women's Champions League against Bayern Munich at Boreham Wood. 42 minutes on the clock. Mateta's goal separates these two here in the Carabao Cup as Trossard swings another corner in towards the near post, punched away by Henderson. It'll come back to Trossard, who goes down the side, outwits the defender, left-footed cross is too big, goes right the way through the 6-yard box and runs out the other side, and Gabriel Jesus scurrying to try and keep it in. Doesn't quite run for him, and there's a bit of frustration amongst the Emirates crowd as they all start to go out now, many of them in Christmas jumpers tonight, and get hot dogs and burgers and pints at half-time.
Lucky Devils. Yeah.
What, the Christmas jumpers you're talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there's one going past me as I speak.
Yeah.
That must have taken a while to knit that one.
It's very colourful, wasn't it? It was, blue snowmen, big sort of green Christmas trees. There was all sorts going on there. Here's Marino into the path of Trossard. Trossard down into the feet of Gabriel Jesus, who's got his back to goal. They lay it back to Marino again, then back out to the far side, and Tierney now trying to get the better of Kapora. He goes on the outside, Kapora sticks with him, he's still got it. Tierney needs to reverse it and does to Marino, tries to turn, gives it back to his former teammate at Sociedad, sends the cross into the box towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and then it's only half clear by Palace. Back down the right now it goes. Raheem Sterling, an offside flag is up.
Wow, late, that was a late flag, because there was another complete phase of play there before the linesman decided to put his flag up. Might have been right initially. I mean, again, of course, we know that the officials and the linesmen, they do wait, they do pause. But we're just seeing Mikel Arteta, arms folded, just looking like, what do I do at half-time? Do I twist? Do I play a card? Do I bring on one of the guys that just might raise the noise levels in the stadium a little bit more and inspire one or two around them?
Well, the problem is they haven't been scoring enough goals to blow teams away, and they have been conceding goals. It used to be the bedrock, didn't it? You know, they hadn't conceded here actually in any of their last 4 home games until Mateta's goal tonight, but 12 of their last 19 games they've had their defence breached in. And although last week against Everton they gave nothing away, they conceded at Fulham not so long ago, they've conceded here, and when you do that you've got to make sure that you get on the score sheet, and they haven't done that tonight. They didn't do that at the weekend, and that will be a source of frustration for the Arsenal fans as they give away a free kick midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. So Crystal Palace on the attack, about 15 yards from the edge of the penalty area, just left of centre, and this is probably going to be, Andy Townsend, the last act of the first half.
It's one of those that you either think, shall we keep it? It's a long way out. It's, what is it, Sam? 30 plus yards, isn't it? It is, just off centre. Eza is having a little look along with Will Hughes and Gahey. I'm beginning to wonder whether they think, let's just keep this and keep this going to a wider area, get in at half-time 1-0. The worst thing you want to do is knock it straight into Raya's hands, and he boots it down the middle, and all of a sudden you're running back towards your own goal. It is an opportunity, though, for Eza to see if he can fizz something a bit special.
Eza standing over it. He takes a curved run up. It is about 32 yards from goal. He steps up, right foot, he slams it into the first man, which is Nwaneri, and it comes back out to halfway where Tyreek Mitchell is waiting for it. 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half. The ball into the box. Raya's got it. First time ball clipped clear up towards Trossard, but Kapora was there.
Yeah, he did well, the young fullback there. very well, kept his eye on the ball.
Oh dear, they've done it again, and Timber's got outdone by Mateta. Mateta with a back heel into Sarr, almost comes off, but it's pinched by Timber, who stood in the way, nabbed it for Arsenal and managed to get it clear. But there was all sorts of befuddlement in that Arsenal defence once again, and Mateta took full advantage. Here comes Jesus down the left for Arsenal as we approach the final few seconds of the first half. He throws the ball into the 18-yard box. It's over the head of Trossard and bounces through to Henderson. And Henderson really now should just keep hold of it and see the time out.
Yeah, that'll be pretty much it, I think, as everyone around us is all off for a well-earned little comfort break at half-time. And I'm sure the Palace boys will be in. Oliver Glasner will be delighted. Arteta's some thinking to do.
Certainly has. They couldn't see off Fulham or Everton, and now Arsenal is struggling to see off Crystal Palace. Jean-Philippe Mateta scoring the goal after 3.5 minutes. It was him taking advantage of some hesitancy in the Arsenal backline. In particular, Jakob Kivior had a very wobbly start, and it means that Crystal Palace are 45 minutes away from the Carabao Cup semi-finals. Arsenal 0, Crystal Palace 1.
And you only get the word befuddlement on a TalkSport commentary. Thank you.
Plays it forward. McAllister loses it on the edge of the box. Southampton now on the edge of the box. The ball forward is scuffed, sliced out for a Liverpool throw. The apology comes up from Bednarek. Liverpool take the throw. It's back to Endo. Gomez. The ball's thrown back on by one of the home fans. We've got 2 balls on the pitch now, so the referee comes over to do a drop ball restart. Gomez takes the touch, plays it short to Endo. Now with Quansah. Harvey Elliott on the right. Here's Nione. Tries to slip it through. It's a little bit overzealous, and that is out for a goal kick. 18 minutes gone. Southampton 0, Liverpool 0 live here on Flash Score. No chances in the game so far. It's half time in one of the quarter-finals. It's Arsenal 0, Crystal Palace 1. Newcastle with 15 minutes to play. It's 1-0 at home. Plays it forward. McAllister loses it on the edge of the box. Southampton now on the edge of the box. The ball forward is scuffed, sliced out for a Liverpool throw. The apology comes up from Bednarek. Liverpool take the throw. It's back to Endo. Gomez. The ball's thrown back on by one of the home fans. We've got 2 balls on the pitch now, so the referee comes over to do a drop ball restart. Gomez takes the touch, plays it short to Endo. Now with Quansah. Harvey Elliott on the right. Here's Nione. Tries to slip it through. It's a little bit overzealous, and that is out for a goal kick. 18 minutes gone. Southampton 0, Liverpool 0 live here on Flash Score. No chances in the game so far. It's half time in one of the quarter-finals. It's Arsenal 0, Crystal Palace 1. Newcastle.
Lovely side-foot finish beyond Alex McCarthy, and this one actually looks all over. Southampton 0, Liverpool 2.
Thank you very much. Back here, the rain tumbling down. We're underway with red shirts, white sleeves, white shorts and red socks of Arsenal attacking the goal away to our left-hand side in Crystal Palace. All in yellow from head to toe with thick blue trim, attacking the goal away to our right, the goal in which their supporters are still the most vocal in the stadium because they lead by 1-0 at half-time. And Liverpool 2-0 up, Newcastle 2-0 up. Both of them look as if they're heading to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. Who's going to join them? Arsenal or Crystal Palace? At the moment, Palace will be the favourites, but there's still a lot of work to do, especially with the changes.
A lot of work to do. Already seen some changes. I'm expecting more soon. It is absolutely hammering down with rain here at the Emirates. So again, it's that sort of night where you have to ask questions of defenders. You have to test their first touch, test their decision making. If Arsenal continue to play in front of this Palace team, then they're going to comfortably walk away with a 1-0. They've got to try and find better ways to get behind them.
And I was just thinking as you were talking there, I mean, that is how you describe what's happened for the first minute and a half of the second 45, and that is they're playing in front of Crystal Palace. They were quite happy to have the ball on the halfway line, just inside opposition territory, just playing it amongst themselves, not going anywhere fast.
Yep.
And as a result, then when they do try to spring Sterling in behind, the Palace defence either are alert to it or the ball's not right and it goes straight through to Henderson. It remains 1-0 to Palace.
The other thing that Odegaard does particularly well, as we know, he drifts into that space between midfield and defenders. Now, can Jorginho, can Marino, can those guys find him with a 10-15 yarder, not a 40 yarder? That's no good. You want to find him with a 10-15 yard pass, get him on the half turn and he can make something happen.
Kiwior does a little bit better this time under pressure from Ismail Assar. Brings the ball down in front of his own penalty area and then guides it to the right. It comes back to the pole and then out to the left. And that's a terrible pass by him and it's cut out by Klein. And once again, Palace are on the front foot. They're coming forward. They've got Klein on this near side. He decides not to try and risk it and play it in behind the Arsenal defence, so goes back to the halfway line and they look to build once again through Eze. Then Gay trying to turn from Odegaard. He lifts the ball over the top for Mitchell, but it's not perfectly directed and it slips out of play and away for a throw-in over on the far side. It's Arsenal 0, Crystal Palace 1, but Jakob Kiwior, out of the two central defenders, bearing in mind that he's supposed to have been the specialist in the first half, it would have been him that I would have moved on.
He's had a little bit of a shaky experience in the first half, and of course in the opening couple of minutes there, a slack, simple pass from the left side of central defence out to his left back. He manages to find Nathaniel Klein with the ball and give it away. So I think all round Arsenal need more tempo, more intensity, apply more pressure. At the moment it's a very comfortable evening this for Crystal Palace. It really is. This is the sort of stuff they would have dreamt of last night, Glasner. An Arsenal team playing in front of them without any real penetration.
Now, Palace struggled for goals in the early part of the season, but in this competition it was never a problem for them as Will Hughes commits a foul on the edge of the 18-yard box and Arsenal get a free kick. 8 goals before tonight, 9 goals now in 3.5 games for Palace, 2 each in the Villa and QPR matches, 4 at home to Norwich, 1 here, and the only team that stopped them scoring in the last 9 games was Fulham. And it was the win against Tottenham that sparked their recent run. How they would love to take another North London scalp tonight. They lead by 1-0, and Arsenal defending once more, couldn't clear their lines with any real purpose and get it over the halfway line. It goes out for a throw midway inside Arsenal territory, and Klein will chuck it in. Oliver Glasner just trying to orchestrate proceedings from the edge of the technical area, thrown in by Klein, one by Hughes, and then misjudges it, and it hits his standing foot and runs out of play and away for a corner.
Too close. Nathaniel Klein there, he's looking for people to throw it to. In the end, they're all about 4 yards away from him, a bit like a Sunday morning one. Send people away, get them away, move them away, and then let them come back to you, then throw it straight to their feet, not on their chest.
Tierney's tried to launch one down the touchline. It was Chalobah who headed it away. There was a bit of pushing going on, and Oliver Glasner, who's wearing very skinny jeans, isn't he? Goes back and sits in his technical area, cutting a rather frustrated figure. Don't think I could get those on.
Oh no, I most certainly couldn't, let me tell you. Not this time of the year as well.
Yeah. I'm better off with that Christmas jumper we saw earlier. Here is Tierney, played out to the left. He's got some space. A low ball fizzed in towards the 6-yard box. Sterling is arriving! Oh. He hits it. It's saved brilliantly by Henderson, and then it comes back to him and he sends it wide of the goal. Well, what an opportunity.
Did it hit the bar, Sam? It might have done.
Here is Trossard with a effort from the edge of the box, shoveled away by the goalkeeper. Comes back out to Ødegaard, and then it's picked off by Lerma, and then it's cleared away towards the far side, and Eze will take it towards the touchline to try and clear. What a chance for Arsenal. Here's Sterling, who's had their best chances in the game, feeds the ball into Marino from distance, tries a strike, and it's just narrowly wide of the left hand upright. Henderson went down, he probably had it covered, but a little bit more intent from Arsenal.
That's better, much better. Couple of clever passes initially, released Kieran Tierney, his left-footed cross found Raheem Sterling totally unmarked, and then actually he should score. Henderson makes a great stop. It's a bit of a tame effort, I feel, the initial one from Sterling. It comes back to him,
oh my word,
and he scoops it up onto the crossbar. Incredible.
He's hit the crossbar. I mean, that's
goalie's line on the floor.
From where we were, it looked like it had gone cross the face of goal, because he was so close to it. He couldn't possibly hit the bar from there. He did. He elevated it onto the bar from about 3 yards out, and wide of the goal, and then it came back down into the penalty area. What a strange one.
But again, he never walked on to that initial shot with any real confidence.
Ball in towards the penalty area now. They're dancing through with Timber. Tackle comes in from, I think it was Lacroix, and then it was pinched away and cleared up towards the halfway line.
Now we're seeing Arsenal applying some, what we would call some proper Arsenal pressure. Last couple of minutes, Palace have looked, for the first time in the game, a little vulnerable and a little desperate with their defending.
And it all started with Tierney getting space down the left-hand side and fizzing in what was a beautiful ball right through the 18-yard box. And now Timber steps out of defence, plays the ball to the edge of the box, gets tackled, it bounces back to Ødegaard, the Norwegian. Then Sterling takes on Mitchell, gets the cross into the box, it drops inside the area. Trossard couldn't control it, spooned away, and then Klein hits it out on the near side. And all of a sudden, Crystal Palace, for the first time in the game, feel under pressure. Half-time at Newcastle. Here's Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Newcastle 2, Brentford 0. A double for Sandro Tonali. The first, a wonderful strike from the edge of the D, found the bottom corner. Then just before the break, he volleyed in a corner from 12 yards out. Newcastle 2, Brentford 0.
Goal at Meadow Park. Here's TalkSport's Ian Abrahams.
Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 1. Former Chelsea defender Magdalena Eriksson thumping home from close range after a corner wasn't properly cleared. Another set piece. Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 1.
Arsenal 0, Crystal Palace 1. Newcastle 2, Brentford 0. Here's Jesus into the area, skips past the defender, then tries to turn it round the corner, and the goalkeeper is beaten. Lacroix can't get back, and it's squeezed into the net, and Arsenal just about force it home. Gabriel Jesus scores his second goal of the season, his second goal in this competition, and Arsenal are level 8 minutes into the second half.
And deservedly so, because the last 6-7 minutes they've been asking proper questions at last. No surprise that Ødegaard it is who rolls a 20-yarder into Gabby Jesus on the half turn on the edge of the box, takes it beautifully in his stride. Chalobah goes to ground, can't really stretch for the ball, otherwise he concedes the penalty, and Gabriel Jesus, with just the goalie to beat, just coolly lifts it over Dean Henderson as he spreads himself. Great goal for Arsenal.
He just lifted it over the top of the advancing Henderson, and it bounced agonisingly on the line. Lacroix was trying to get back, sliding in underneath it, but he couldn't stop it from creeping over the line. And the Arsenal fans now found their voice. They're on their feet, they're pointing, they're asking the question of the Palace fans, who are you? Arsenal 1, Crystal Palace 1.
Yeah, really good start to the second half from the Gunners. Much better, much more like them. No surprises, I say that. The architect of the goal, very much Martin Odegaard. 20-yard pass right into his striker's feet on the edge of the box. That's where they want to receive it.
Halfway line, Arsenal have the ball. It's at the feet of Saliba, then gets back to Kivior, and then all the way back to David Raya. This is the third League Cup meeting between the two. Arsenal 1-1, Palace 1-1. We haven't had a draw yet. Arsenal won the last tie 5-1 on aggregate in the semi-final of the League Cup as it was then. I think it might have been the Rumbelows Cup 1993. Ian Wright scored 2, Alan Smith scored 2, Andy Linnigan got 1. The Gunners won the trophy that year. That was the last time they won the League Cup, 1993. Ball up to Mateta, cut out by Saliba. They have a tougher time with Saliba than he did with Kivior in the first half, that's for sure.
Activity on the Crystal Palace bench. I think we just saw there Mateta just lose control of the ball. Arsenal have it back, they're coming again. Immediately Glasner turned around and signalled he wants to change. He's seen enough, his team are getting done all over the park.
Daichi Kamada and Nketiah, I'm reliably informed it was not the Rumbelows Cup, it was the first season of the Coca-Cola Cup, as it was called then.
Is that right? Yes.
When you won it with Villa, what was it then?
It might have been a Coca-Cola.
Here come Arsenal with Jorginho down the left-hand side. The ball picked up by Jesus. He cuts back in, feeds it in towards Marino. It's cut away by Lacroix and then up towards the halfway line. Kamada and Nketiah, I think, are coming on here for Crystal Palace.
And Palace can't get out now.
They're locked in, aren't they?
Yeah, whenever they clear, it's just going forward 20-30 yards, coming straight back. So for them, they've just got to try and weather this Arsenal pressure and this Arsenal intensity for the first time.
Arsenal haven't won the cup before the pre-Arsene Wenger days. Here is Timber down the right-hand side, combining over on the far side with a bit of speed and tempo about Arsenal now. Into the box it goes to Sterling from Odegaard. Couldn't get it under control. Flicked away by Gay, and now a chance to get it out on the other side by Eberechi Eze. And he turns and tries to just keep Palace in possession and calm things down, because it's been a bit helter-skelter for them in the last 10 minutes or so. They've conceded, it's 1-1, and we're live on TalkSport with the rain tumbling down. It's a bit stormy here. Arsenal had chances, hit the bar just beforehand, made Dean Henderson pull off a really good save, but they are level. But the ball's in the Arsenal box now. It's squared towards Nathaniel Klein. Chalobah bites into a tackle with Jesus as they look to clear. Referee says play on, and they build the play down the left. Collected over on that far side by Tyreek Mitchell. Jesus still down, flicked in by Lerma. Klein keeps it alive. Trossard comes towards him. They're in the Arsenal box here, Crystal Palace. Klein sets it back to Hughes. He didn't want to cross it for some reason. It goes to Lacroix. He'll shoot from distance. It's well over the top of the crossbar. They totally ignored Gabriel Jesus for the entirety of that move.
I think because he got a knee in the side of his leg, almost in the buttock a little bit there, and he's laying on the floor holding that area. But I think Andy Madley's right, there's no reason to stop the game. Eventually the shot from Lacroix is always rising over the top. Time for 2 changes for Palace.
Mateta is replaced by Eddie Nketiah, who gets a good reception from the Arsenal fans. They got 30 million for him at the beginning of the season. Eddie is the chant from the Arsenal fans. He comes on, hasn't scored a Premier League goal for his new club yet. Actually, his only goal for Palace coming in this competition against Queen's Park Rangers. He would love a goal tonight. Since his hat-trick against Sheffield United last October, Eddie Nketiah has played 1,295 minutes, equivalent to 14 and a half games of football, and has scored just twice.
And actually be delighted, Eddie Nketiah, tonight, that he's going to go up the middle a little bit. Sarri's up there, looks like in a 2-pronged attack now. Him and Ismaila Sarr kind of split in a little bit, but often when I've seen Nketiah at Palace, he's played on the right side. Sam have 4 in midfield, not always been easy for him.
I think they've gone to a 4-4-2 here, with Kamada
like
going out to the left hand side of the midfield and Klein coming to the right, Lerma and Hughes in the middle, and then Sarr and Nketiah together. That's what it looks like. We'll see how it develops. 60 minutes gone. It means that Mitchell will go left back and Chalobah right back, if that is to stay the same. Gay plays it out towards the near side. They go straight out of play, and it's an Arsenal throw, and the Arsenal fans have got their blood up now, haven't they?
They certainly have. Yeah, the team have started really well. Start of the second half. I said at half-time we felt a bit flat and a bit tame and a bit listless. Well, it's been the complete opposite since we got going again.
Jesus is back on his feet and he's back on the pitch. Marino plays it to the edge of the area, turned around the corner by Trossard. Marino tries to get it back into the path of Saliba, and Nketiah races onto it, but then only conspires to give it away back to Jurrien Timber. It's half-time at St Mary's, and it's Southampton 0, Liverpool 2. The goals coming in the first half for Liverpool. They're delighted to see Darwin Nunez on the score sheet, and Harvey Elliott scoring the second against Southampton. That game continues over on Talk Sport 2. If you want to listen to it, download our app. You can flick between the two stations, or just on your DAB digital radio, your smart speaker, ask it to play Talk Sport 2. This is Kivior on halfway. Arsenal now so much on top, Andy. They need to force it home and get on top on the scoreboard.
Yes, they do. Vitally important in this spell now for Crystal Palace that their back four, changed from a 5 now to a 4, doesn't keep dropping away too deep all the time.
Chalobah to Lacroix. It's half cleared, but comes back via Ødegaard, who weaves his way to the edge of the box and bumps it through, looking for the run of Jesus. It didn't reach him. It was cleared away before it could reach Trossard from Chalobah out on the far side, and it's still with Arsenal. They've given it away here, and Nketiah has sprinted down the left-hand side because Lerma's on the ball and charging forward. Sarr had made a really good run, but he didn't feed him the ball. He went wide to the right instead. Now the cross comes in. It's too big from Klein. Kamada trying to pick it up on the far side. He brings it down, looks up, looks to flick it in, but instead goes to Lerma, who strikes from distance. And you know, it was a hit, but it was never really going to trouble Raya. The ball that was down this right-hand side, Andy, into Sarr, who'd made such a good run.
Again, they turned the ball over there, Palace. Arsenal just a little careless, probably for the only time in this second half. And on the halfway line, Palace break forward. Lerma's got Sarr at full stretch, really running hard. He just wants the ball put in front of him. Instead of that, Lerma delays, chance gone.
Half-time at Meadow Park. TalkSport, Ian Abrahams.
Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 1. Vickers Dossor's own goal on 7 minutes to put Arsenal ahead, but Eriksen equalised 5 minutes before half-time for the Germans. Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 1.
Kamada, formerly of Eintracht Frankfurt, he was a Europa League winner at Frankfurt. It's a big Frankfurt hero, but also the Arsenal fan in the office is telling me that he's a big Arsenal hero because he was the man that downed Unai Emery. They're a bit squiffy about Unai Emery here, aren't they? You know,
they are.
He's still a bit hungover from the TalkSport Christmas party, so he's a bit grumpy, I think. Here is Trossard on the near side, the left. He threads it into the penalty area. Lovely turn and spin by Jesus. Pokes it towards the near post. Took a deflection, hit the side netting. It's a lovely turn by Gabriel Jesus. It would have been a beautiful goal if he'd converted it.
Really good work. Lovely ball from Trossard into Gabriel Jesus. 10-yard pass again. He actually nutmegs Will Hughes. It goes into Gabriel Jesus about 7 yards out, corner of the 6-yard box area. Just takes his first touch, goes round his defender, toe pokes it, and Henderson just gets a hand on it.
Corner kick then to Arsenal on this near side. Jesus, Marino, Kivior, Saliba all in there. Looks like it's that Timber there as well at the back edge of the 6-yard box, just moving for space. That looks like the 5 that have peeled away at the back post. Again, they've left 3 up, Crystal Palace, as this corner comes in, right-footed in towards the near post area, and it's flicked away by Chalobah. Good defending by him. It comes back out to Ødegaard. Ødegaard's going to send it into the penalty area. No, he's not. He's going to send it left instead to Trossard, who tries to take on Sarr, beats him. His cross into the near post is grabbed easily by Henderson, who jettisons his big arms up into the sky and pulls the ball into his chest. And it remains 1-1 on Talk Sport.
Yeah, it's been a been a tough experience for Palace since they've come out for the second half. They'll have seen Odegaard, they'll have expected a reaction. As I said to you, Sam, they've certainly got one. Arsenal have really swamped and swarmed all over Palace in the start of this second period. Now they've got to resist that. Can they find something themselves?
Well, his changes didn't work at the weekend, and he was questioned about that, and he was a bit sort of sniffy about being asked why he took off Odegaard. But tonight, his changes have worked.
Yes.
They've changed the game completely.
It has, totally.
25 to go.
They weren't particularly poor, I didn't think, Sam, at the start in the first half. Arsenal weren't poor, but it was just all a little bit tame and a little bit easy for Palace to cope with. Now all of a sudden defenders are checking both shoulders, not sure where the red and white shirts are.
Here is Trossard, turning, running, firing towards the edge of the penalty area, tries to slip it into Marino, had made a run from midfield. That's the other thing as well, they've got players breaking from midfield into the box. Jesus now, edge of the area, little turn, flicked by Marino, no one's behind him. Lerma manages to get it clear, but he can't clear his lines because they're just a bit out of sorts at the moment, Palace. They can't get hold of the ball because Arsenal moving it at such a great tempo and with more intensity in this second half. It remains 1-1. We've played 20 minutes in the second 45. They've had better chances than they created. They created very little in that first half, Arsenal, clear-cut nature. But they've created quite a few in this second half. They've hit the crossbar. Henderson's made a save. They've scored the equaliser. They've hit the side netting. It's been a different dimension to the attack and more dynamism about them as they send it up towards the the edge of the 18-yard box. It looks for Sterling, but doesn't quite get there. Lerma almost kicked Odegaard in the head, and eventually he then tries to clear it to halfway. Nketiah fights for it, loses. Trossard goes in after the loose ball and it breaks towards the halfway line. Sometimes it is just a little bit more intensity that gets you into the game.
Just a little bit more up and at them, just a little bit more turning teams round, getting people running beyond. That's all you have to do. It doesn't have to be pretty, special, perfect. Far from it. Sometimes just put it in behind your opponents and get after it.
The other thing I've noticed is that they've given away a free kick now. Sterling, who did get the ball wrapped into him by Trossard, he couldn't quite control it properly and then turn and get himself on the front foot. But the one thing I noticed about them is that they're almost playing one-touch football at times, and that moves it quicker as well. As we look at Jesus Perez and Mauricio Pochettino, the USA international manager. And I did see Carl Jenkinson and his fiancée.
Yeah, I did see he was in front, wasn't he?
In front of him as well, yes. I did. Plays for Bromley now. Carl Jenkinson, yeah.
He's with Woody.
He is.
At Bromley.
Yeah. And his missus actually.
If Woody dares turn around and says them players can't have a Christmas party.
His missus actually works on Soccer Aid. She runs it. Well, which is a big part of running it. I mean, there's loads of people that run it, to be fair. There's a lot of people behind it, but she does a great job of pulling it all together. Here is Timber over on the far side, sliding the ball upfield in towards Sterling. And then it's picked up by Sarr because they've turned the ball over. And Marino just gets in, digs in, wins the ball back, turns it over. And Arsenal are on the attack again. You wouldn't cancel a Christmas party, would you?
No. And that's what I mean. If Andy Woodman cancels their Christmas party this year,
outrageous.
He'll be straight on the blower to him.
Are you going to get an invite to that?
No.
That used to be sort of your area of the wood, didn't it, back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day, not far from there.
Here is a pause in play for treatment to Kieran Tierney.
Well, he looks like his race might be run, Sam, here.
The last thing he wants is to have an injury after just getting the first opportunity to play for Arsenal again in nearly 18 months. He doesn't want an injury. He's back on his feet again now, and he said that he's trying to tell everyone he can continue. Let's see what happens with Mikel Arteta, although it does look like we're going to see Lewis Skelly actually, who's just come out to the edge of the technical area as we wait here. Our commentary position, by the way, today is a little bit further along the line than it usually is. We're camped over the corner flag at one end of the ground with the Crystal Palace fans away to our right, and that means that, and they do like to do this here at Arsenal, and everyone stands up. It's very difficult to just crane our neck and see what's going on in the technical area away to our left, but I think we've learnt that we're going to see Bukayo Saka as well. I think he's emerging there. So on comes Lewis Skelly, and he comes on for Kieran Tierney. And also coming off is Raheem Sterling, and he again hasn't really done too much in an Arsenal jersey tonight. He's missed a big chance, and he's replaced by the star boy Saka.
Yeah, perfect timing, I think, as well, for that sort of change. 20 minutes left plus whatever Andy Medley wants to add on at the end. That's a lot of time if Arsenal can get that Odegaard Saka axis going.
I remember it wasn't that long ago when Saka was the understudy to Sterling for England, and now Sterling is very much the second understudy for Bukayo Saka at Arsenal. And let's go off to the darts, get an update from TalkSport's Ian Danta.
We have a 9-dart finish, Sam, from Christian Kist of Holland against Madas Razma of Latvia. A 1-4-1 checkout sealed the 9-darter. That's £180,000 going to prostate cancer research and to a random member of the audience in the Ali Pali crowd tonight. Earlier tonight, Paolo Nebrida won 3-2 against June Williams, Sam.
Thank you very much, Ian Danta. The darts on the radio tonight after the Southampton-Liverpool game. They'll continue commentary of the PDC World Darts Championships from Ali Pali, and all of the best matches throughout the course of the Christmas period live on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Ball into Gabriel Jesus. Lovely angled pass from the right-hand side, which was sent down into the 18-yard box at a 45-degree angle. He was running across the goalkeeper, but Henderson was out quickest to it.
Odegaard again.
Yeah, brilliant.
Lovely pass, Sam. He's just half a yard offside anyway, had he have got onto that, Gabriel Jesus. But that's what the Arsenal skipper does. That's the sort of pass he looked for, when he receives in the pocket, gets on the half turn, and then fizzes one along the floor perfectly into the path of Jesus, who's just offside.
Here is Odegaard picking the ball up, running forward to the edge of the box, sliding it to Marino's effort, never really caught it, sent Henderson plunging to his left, but never with any real urgency, and it was easily saved. 1-1. Crystal Palace have never won this competition. They're usually well out by now. They haven't played a quarter-final since 2011. They were knocked out in the third round or before in each of the last 5 seasons, but with 19 minutes to go, Andy, the other thing is that this competition changing in format means that even if you are a smaller team or one of the teams that aren't the top 5 or 6 in the Premier League, you can still hang in there and get to penalties and get yourself into a semi-final.
You can indeed.
And that's what the Palace have got to do.
Well, that'll be the plan, definitely, as we see Eddie Nketiah this time just get his arms up and just unfortunately just catches Kivior from that long Dean Henderson drop kick. And Arsenal have the ball once more. They've totally dominated everything, all the stats second half, Arsenal.
Yeah, and they have actually tried their hardest to get a little bit of pressure off the Palace defence. When Henderson has had it, he has been smashing it up into opposition territory to try and get them as far away from their goal as possible. It keeps coming back though. In this second half, I mean, they've had 83% possession, Arsenal, 7 goal attempts, 5 on target, 2 shots off target. I mean, in the first half, they had 3, 2 and 1 in the whole 45 minutes. We've still got 20 minutes of this game left. Shows you the intensity has been up. Here's Jesus, fed by Saka into the penalty area. Right side of the 6-yard box. He's rifled it across the goalkeeper and he's smashed it in. And Arsenal have come from behind to lead against Crystal Palace. Gabriel Jesus at the double, runs away in celebration, makes a heart shape with his fingers. He's loving it tonight. Arsenal lead by 2 goals to 1. He's scored twice, both goals in the second half. Arsenal have turned it around.
Oh, it's a great goal. It's a brilliant finish again. It's down the right side. It's Odegaard and Saka. Eventually, he might be offside.
Doesn't matter, there's no VAR.
Is there not? Wow. Oh, I tell you what, I think he might have been. But it's a brilliant finish. The actual strike is a top-class finish, it is. And he makes one of those runs where a ball is threaded between 2 centre-halves. He just makes that run in behind them. And he finishes it, slots it brilliant, has a good look at Henderson, weighs it all up, hits it hard and true and low enough and steers it into the far corner.
Well, you might be right there. It would be one of those, if this was a Saturday afternoon in the Premier League, we'd be sitting here now waiting for the lines to be drawn and wondering what happened next. Tonight we know it's a goal, an Arsenal lead by 2 goals to 1 with 17 to play on TalkSport, and Crystal Palace, who were hanging on, I think, for penalties just a few minutes ago. They were in front with 9 minutes of the second half gone and now behind, and Arsenal have turned the game on its head.
Yeah, they played really well in the second half. Much more like it. And it's just been about desire. It's been about the need to turn a game round and play with more tempo, more belief. They've done all of that. Are we going to see a Palace response now?
Well, they've won a free kick far side, and it's given in favour of Mark Gay, who was dragged to the floor. Jesus has scored twice tonight. He'll be delighted about that. Second and third goals of the season. Not scored a Premier League goal since January the 30th. Did score against Preston and has scored here tonight. And they need a player who can put the ball in the net from open play, don't they? And they've done that this evening. Here is Hughes into the penalty area. Lerma taking it out towards this near touchline. After the free kick was initially well dealt with, it's taken down though, and Sarr has managed to get away from his marker, slipped into the 6-yard box. How has that not gone in? It seemed to pop off an Arsenal defender and spiral behind. It was all about the good work that Ismaila Sarr did down the right side of the box. He took it in, went round the outside of the defender. Marino had tracked him, got to the byline, pulled it through the 6-yard box, and Arsenal spooned it away.
Yeah, it was Saliba actually who knocked it against Marino. It goes out for a corner, but shot from, or the cross from Lerma, really well taken by Sarr in the box. His cutback, very nearly finding a yellow shirt.
Corner. Hughes to take it. Surely Arsenal not going to get undone by a set piece now. Ball delivered into the near post, flicked away by Jesus. Good header by him. And then, well, the attempted block by Klein didn't do anything for them, and Saka has robbed it, and he's racing away at rapid pace. And then Kamada's got back at him and taken him down over on the far touchline and won the ball.
Yep, it's an Arsenal throw, and I think that's a fair challenge actually. He might have just caught Bukayo Saka a little bit. It looked like for a split second there was a chance for Arsenal to really fly forward and maybe put this game to bed with a third. As it was, Kamada makes a good challenge.
Fascinating, isn't it, that Gabriel Jesus scores twice tonight.
Yeah.
You know, all summer, all the end of last season, they were linked with Tony, Osterman, Isaac, Gyökeres. So much was made of that, but nothing happened. I mean, I know it sounds cliched now, but do you think that Arsenal, to win silverware, to chase down Liverpool, they need to do the obvious?
Well, I don't think to win an FA Cup, I don't even think to win a Champions League they have to have that. I think the Premier League is different. I think they can't afford to have too many of them games like that against Everton at the weekend. I think over the 38 games you could do with something a bit more up there. I do, Sam, yeah. But look, I think in terms of tonight and this competition, FA Cup, Champions League, you can win of course they can win a cup competition like that without that 30-goal a season, man.
Well, he did have a great first season, didn't he, Gabriel Jesus? But he never really built on that. Picked up an injury, and then it just never really got going again for him. I remember being here on the first day of the season that he signed. I think he was playing Leicester on a Saturday afternoon, and he was brilliant that day. He scored a terrific goal. He looped it over someone's head, popped it in the corner. He was fantastic.
Well, coming from City, he was everything that Arsenal needed at that time. And he's kind of gone down the pecking order. Tell you what, he's looked sharp about all of his work tonight. He's played on the last shoulder of the defenders. He's been found 3 or 4 times in the second half, been very close. And that's a brilliant second goal. We're just seeing another replay of it. I tell you, it would have been offside. In a couple of days' time, if it's the same run, the flag goes up.
Well, it's his 21st game of the season tonight. That's his 3rd goal. Arsenal come forward down the left-hand side. Henderson as he come out of his penalty area there. Oh dear, he's grabbed it in front of Trossard. I thought he wandered outside his box. Andy Madley said he didn't.
Yeah.
And there's no VAR.
Well, look, let's have another look. Well, maybe he did. Maybe he's hovering the ball over just on top of the line. But
actually, it's good goalkeeping, isn't it?
Yeah, it's close.
He was aware of his coordinates there.
Correct, he was.
Just about. He was outside the penalty area, but the hands were inside the penalty area, and the ball was hovering over the line. And he did just enough.
And that was a long ball, a 30-yarder, just stuck over the back of Chalobah. And of course, Palace have got to take risks now.
12 minutes to go. Fired forward by Raya into the night sky. The rain has relented for a moment. It's picked off by Gay, who steps out down that left channel, but he's been trapped by Saka. Saka's fighting with him for it. The ball spills out to the far side. He can't come away from it, and Saka just doesn't make life easy for him. The ball goes out of play, far touchline, and it's with Crystal Palace again. Mitchell back to Gahey forward, cut out by Hughes before Arsenal can turn it over. Now Nketiah trying to speed down the left touchline, but he just can't really get into the game, Eddie Nketiah.
Have they had anything second half, Sam Palace?
Nothing.
To worry David Raya? Not really.
No. The only opportunity they had was when Sarr got down the right-hand side, taking it in from the cross and went round the outside and pulled it back. They're going to make a change here, and Will Hughes is going to come off, and I think that they're going to bring on Justin Devenny, the Northern Irishman who started the game against Villa and scored in that game. He's been used regularly as a substitute ever since then. He's 21 years of age. They picked him up from Adrionians over a year ago. And he comes into the fray for the final 10 minutes. Well, Arsenal will hope it's the final 10 minutes. If Palace were to score, we would go to penalties. Their throw-in has led to them being dispossessed, and Arsenal have got it with Ødegaard, who's very quickly released Jesus, who's racing down the right-hand side. He was onside, he's burst into the box, this for the hat-trick, he smashes it home and sends Arsenal into the Carabao Cup semi-final. Gabriel Jesus with a hat-trick against Crystal Palace in the second half to turn the game on its head and win the cup tie for Arsenal.
Oh, what a brilliant finish from Gabriel Jesus. Stunning goal. I've mentioned that Palace are going to have to push, and well, they've tried to squeeze, and Ødegaard again picks the ball up. He's got options left and right, and he picks exactly the right ball to the man on the night who's made all the difference, and it's the number 9, Gabi Jesus, who's such an unselfish player, always has been, even when he's out the team, just gets on with his job. Tonight he's come in to great effect, got them back in it at 1-1, got them that second goal to go in front, and has just added a brilliant third for a really impressive hat-trick, and a really good win this for Arsenal. From 1 down with a very changed team, they've dusted themselves down and got themselves 3 goals, and are deservedly going to go into the semis.
First hat-trick for Arsenal for Gabriel Jesus, and a first hat-trick for Gabriel Jesus since the 23rd of April, St George's Day 2022, when he scored 4 for Manchester City against Watford. And what a brilliant moment for him, because he has been criticised, he has been under the cosh a little bit.
Well, he came here from a team where he was a serial winner. Didn't always play up front, did he, for City often, and had to go out wide off the left, off the right, but always just gets on with the job. It's the nature of what he is. He's one of those types that just give him a shirt and he'll run himself hard and run himself right to the last whistle. But tonight he's got 3 really good goals. His all-round game has been excellent. He's been a nuisance. He's been sensible. He's been intelligent with his work. His finishing's been exemplary.
Great finish from the edge of the box, and there was the timing of the run as well. I don't know what you thought about that, but just inside his own half.
Yes, ran into space and knew exactly, with Ødegaard on the ball, he knew that he could find him. And once he got through, he had a lot to think about. He ran 45 odd yards all the way through until he was confronted with Dean Henderson, and this time again just dispatches it really neatly into the far corner.
8 minutes to go before the conclusion of the game, and Arsenal, who were 1-0 down at half-time, are now 3-1 up and cruising. And elsewhere tonight, also cruising, or certainly it was that way at half-time for both Newcastle and Liverpool. Newcastle leading Brentford by 2-0. Sandro Tonali getting the first goal for Newcastle United, the second one coming from Sandro Tonali. So it's all the players that haven't scored that many goals recently that are on the score sheet tonight, using the Carabao Cup as a way to heal their bruised egos. Darwin Núñez has scored for Liverpool tonight, and Harvey Elliott as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. Granny Slot, that is absolutely spot on for him, as well as Eddie Howe. Good that Tonali gets a couple.
So it looks like we're going to have a heavyweight lineup in the Carabao Cup semi-finals, no matter what happens, because we're going to have Liverpool, Newcastle, Arsenal and Tottenham or Manchester United join them tomorrow night live on Talk Sport, and we'll have coverage from 7 o'clock tomorrow. The game kicks off at 8 o'clock. Adrian Durham will be there alongside myself and Leanne Sanderson for commentary tomorrow night. Looking forward to that. Big game for both those two.
Big game, massive game. Hey, listen to the Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
That's what it means to them. Obviously, as they're cheering, they're giving the Palace fans plenty, as a few of them are starting to head for the hills. But I always hear about this competition, Sam, and about people saying, oh, it's the one that you might have to knock on the head, etc.
There's a header into the far corner, and what a good header it is as well. Eddie Nketiah,
what a great goal,
has just leapt up inside the 18-yard box as a cross came in from the right-hand side, and he's planted his header into the corner past David Raya, and Crystal Palace are back in it with 5 minutes to go.
It's a brilliant goal from Eddie Nketiah, it really is. It comes out here to Nathaniel Klein on the right side, he clips it, and I tell you, Eddie Nketiah is between Saliba and Kivior there, and he leaps majestically, hangs in the air and thumps that one past David Raya with his head. Brilliant goal.
And he's got no right to score from there.
He's got no right to score from there, he hasn't. It's a terrific header from him.
Well, Arsenal thought it was done and dusted, and it's another one who desperately needs to get on the score sheet for their own form and confidence, that's actually done that in this Carabao Cup. And this, again, we were talking about that just moments ago, and he's just proved the point, isn't it? You know, I mentioned about the minutes, over 1,250 minutes since he was a regular goal scorer, since his hat-trick against Sheffield United. That's 3 goals in that time now, but he's on the score sheet tonight, and it might make it a nervy finish.
It will do indeed. So much so that Mikel Arteta is about to deploy Gabriel, because he wants to protect the 1-goal lead that they have.
Yeah, well, first of all, they're going to take off Tyreek Mitchell and replace him with Jeff Schlupp, which tells you about the intention of Oliver Glasner. He wants to go for it to try and get them to penalty kicks, because, again, they only need a goal to go to penalty kicks, and that's what the change of format does. Arsenal thought they were cruising moments ago, but a speculative ball in the box and an absolute salmon leap from Eddie Nketiah has changed the tone again, and Gabriel now is coming to the defence, and he's come in for the last few minutes just to bulk that up, and Jakob Kivior has gone off. Here is Klein on the near touchline. 3.5 minutes to go on Talk Sport. Klein wrestling on this near side with Mikel Merino, who goes down like a sack of spuds.
Yeah, he's just trying to buy a bit of time. Merino there, he's absolutely fine. There's nothing much in that, but brilliant goal from Eddie Nketiah, just to give us something to consider now. Where are we? 3 minutes from the 90-minute mark. Depends how much extra the referee will want to add on. Do we know yet?
Not yet. We've got 3 minutes to go before we get told that. Just a bit of breaking news. Vitor Pereira has verbally agreed earlier to sign a 1.5-year contract to become the new Wolves manager. We understand that's now signed, and they're going to pay £1 million in compensation to release him from his contract with Saudi Arabia side Al Shabab. So he'll be in the dugout at the weekend for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and he's replaced Gary O'Neill.
Yeah, he's got a job on his hands there to try and turn that one around. He's had success, he's tasted success at a couple of clubs before. He's going to need to bring all his experience, and again, that voice has got to resonate with the players very, very quickly.
We will bring you updates from that game. Leicester Wolves Sunday afternoon on the Sunday session. I'll be at Manchester United versus game. Bournemouth. Leicester Wolves 2 o'clock kickoff. Cool. Man United Bournemouth 2 o'clock kickoff will be around all the grounds on the Sunday session. And Wolves' first home fixture under Pereira will be against Manchester United on Boxing Day. That's live and only on Talk Sport. Here is Jesus trying to win it down the left-hand side. The hat-trick hero, the man who's scored all the Arsenal goals today. Back it goes to Merino. Chalobah with a challenge. Free kick goes against him, and it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal.
What he's done there, Sam, Chalobah's been nudged in the back. He's gone to ground and he's grabbed it as he's gone over.
Handball.
And the referee hasn't given the free kick yet. I mean, Merino actually, in all fairness to Trevor Chalobah, does have his hands in his back a bit. He goes over, but he grabs the ball, and as he's falling, he's half looking for the ref to blow the whistle. I'm afraid it never happened. So Arsenal have a free kick, a chance to keep the ball up right by the corner flag.
This will be a bit of a setback for Oliver Glasner, but the second half in particular not been bright, and it will be a lesson for them coming here, coming to Selhurst Park on Saturday when they play Arsenal again at the weekend. And a little sight of them. Maybe Gabriel Jesus will fancy his chances against them again. Here he is down by the corner flag, looking to hold on to the ball and waste a few precious seconds. There's 60 seconds plus whatever is added on at the end of the game still to play here on Talk Sport. They're giving the ball away cheaply here. Gabriel not tight enough to Kamada, and then the boys slid down the right, and Nketiah is away. He's inside the box here. He couldn't get his shot in first time, but he squared it back into the 6-yard box. He's met by Gabriel, and he manages to steer it to safety. And Miles Lewis-Skelly on this near side manages to just hold on to it, try to win a free kick, goes out for a throw-in though. Quickly we're going to go off to a goal at St Mary's. Adrian Durham.
Saints are back in it. Liverpool lead 2-1. Cameron Archer arrowing the ball into the back of the net. Crucial they got that goal, and they have. Saints 1, Liverpool 2.
Bit of an argy-bargy on this near side, but Lerman's going to take a throw-in down by the corner flag. Remember, we're in the 90th minute of the game now. We haven't got an indication of how many minutes are going to be added on just yet. The fourth official just emerging with the board. But Lerma is about to take a throw, and it's going to be a long one from the corner flag. Crystal Palace 3-2 behind. They need an equaliser, and they're going to have 5 additional minutes to do it. It's launched in by Lerma into the near post, away by Gabriel. Back down the right it goes. Oh, he's offside, Lerma.
Yeah, he's ball watching. He's thrown the ball in, and he's standing there. He gets half cleared. Nathaniel Klein tries to give it to him. He's offside.
Miles Lewis-Skelly has been given a yellow card. That was for his histrionics on the near side. We're going to go off to another goal at Newcastle United. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, surely all over here, Sam. Fabian Schär has scored from close range after Hall's shot was deflected to Guimaraes. He pulled it back very unselfishly. Schär tapped in from close range. Newcastle 3, Brentford 0.
5 added minutes here in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. Arsenal thought they were cruising through once the third goal went in from Gabriel Jesus, racing clear from halfway to pop it in for his hat-trick. But it turned again for Crystal Palace when Nketiah got one back. It's 3-2 with just 4 added minutes still to play. Sarr forward looking for Nketiah. Kamada trying to chase into the box. Out comes David Raya, and he lands on the ball, and there's nothing doing there for Crystal Palace. Couple of goals at Boreham Wood. Ian Abrahams.
Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2. Magda Eriksson put the away side ahead, but Alessia Russo's just equalised for Arsenal. Arsenal 2, Bayern 2.
Newcastle 3, Brentford 0. Southampton 1, Liverpool 2. Is it going to be a late twist in a tail over on Talk Sport 2? Arsenal 3, Crystal Palace 2 is the latest score line here. Remember, darts commentary later tonight when that Southampton-Liverpool game finishes on Talk Sport 2. This game's a little bit more of a nervy ending than it should have been.
Yes, it looked like it was going to. Arsenal were cruising to the finish line, and then out of nothing, great cross into the box and a committed leap and wonderful finish from Eddie Nketiah has just given Arsenal something to think about.
Ball cleared by Chalobah out towards the edge of the penalty area. Oh, Ødegaard won that. It was a bad clearance by Chalobah, and it's gone all the way to Henderson, who wants to get this up the field quickly. He couldn't kick it because he had pressure from Jesus, so he gave it to Chalobah, whose big switch from the right side is launched out towards the far side. Schlupp tries to win the header, but he only lollops it into the air. It goes out for a throw into Arsenal, and they'll waste a few precious more seconds. What has Arsenal learnt tonight? What have Mikel Arteta gauged from this?
That when his team play with the right tempo, the right urgency in their game, that they're very difficult to resist and to deny. They again, second half completely dominant, despite the fact that there's only the one in it and they've had to twitch a little bit the last couple of minutes. They played very well in the second period. He's been able to rest key players, although he's brought a good few of them on here. Such was the need tonight, because first half was all a little bit too easy for Palace. But what he's learned is that, one or two that have come in, particularly Gabriel Jesus, what a night for him. Is it going to kickstart him into the second part of this season? Is he, after all, going to be the man that might just add that little bit more threat up top for Arsenal?
Certainly bringing on the big hitters turned the game at half-time. And you just wonder where they would have been if they hadn't have done that. So credit has to go to Mikel Arteta, but he was the one who made the 8 changes, which I think left them a little bit vulnerable in that first half. Yeah,
Sam, I agree. Listen, whenever you make 8, you are hoping, you are fingers crossed and everything crossed that they're going to get it sorted out for you, because that's a lot, and that disrupts the flow and the rhythm. And he'll have felt that he had to do it from the weekend's game, which was a frustrating one for them. But if they get over the line tonight, it's been another good night's work.
Yep, I mean, they've had their troubles this season, but they rarely lose. They've dropped points at critical moments, they've missed opportunities, but they've only lost 3 of now 25 games in all competitions.
Oh, yeah.
Palace want a corner here. They've chased the ball into the corner. Across has gone Saliba. He thought it was a goal kick. The referee has overturned that and says he thinks it's a corner, and he's right, because it came off Saliba last.
This might be the last chance for Palace.
Dean Henderson is coming up from the back, trotting up into the penalty area. 94 minutes on the clock. We're into the final minute of added time. 3-2 Arsenal. Ball towards the far post. Goalkeeper comes out and haymakers the ball to the near side. And it goes out for a throw-in. It's a brilliant punch by David Raya.
Fantastic punch. Under big pressure there, the goalkeeper gets a good fist on it and just bashes that out of the way.
Devaney launches it high into the Arsenal half. It goes over the head of the defender. Kamada can't reach it. It goes out of play. Surely now they've done enough. Arsenal haven't reached the semi-final of the Carabao Cup since they went all the way to the final in 2018 when they lost to Manchester City. It'll be a 9th game unbeaten for the Gunners. And Mikel Arteta will be 180 minutes away from a Wembley Cup final. Ball out of play over on the far side. At half-time it didn't look like it was going to be a cruise. It did very much in the second half when Gabriel Jesus got a hat-trick. But they were pegged back at the end and they were nervously twitching right to the very last. 5 years on Friday since Mikel Arteta started his era as the Arsenal boss. He may only have 1 trophy in the cabinet, but Arsenal are just 2 games from a Wembley final. They're into the semi-finals, largely thanks to his changes at half.
Kostas Tsimikas around the outside of him. He's barged him away from the ball. He's given it to Downs to tee off for Sugawara. The Southampton are going backwards now, back to the halfway line, and back with Jan Bednarek again.
Yeah, I get there's an element that they want to keep possession, and they've done that for so long, but it's Diblin on the ball again. And
Diblin trying to push it through for Sugawara. Sugawara was saying that Nioni had a bit of his shirt and was stopping him from getting to the ball. He actually stopped the Japanese defender because he thought Simon Hooper was going to blow his whistle, and it's been waved away, so Liverpool back in possession.
Yeah, there was definitely contact, a little bit of pulling there, and you'd probably say if it maybe wasn't quite so close to the edge of the 18-yard box, there could well have been a decision given from the referee, and I think it's a justified appeal from Sugawara. Certainly felt that he was impeded.
2-1 Liverpool. High ball forward looking for Jota. Headed back to goalkeeper McCarthy from Taylor Harwood-Bellis, who's had a great time in his competition this season. Scored against Stoke here and against Everton as well in the round previous to that to help Saints on their way to this point, the quarter-final. Here's Diblin, that's unlucky. Got the ball stuck underneath his studs. Liverpool turn it over. Jota carries it forward. Edge of the penalty area. Still going. He's in the box now. The layoff across goal and stopped, put behind. Really good bit of defending from Harwood-Bellis. Got over to make sure that he made the interception on the line to deny Chiesa, who was hoping to finish the chance off. It's a corner.
You thought for a moment Jota was just going to maybe shoot himself, but he slides Chiesa in, and it looks like it's a fabulous opportunity, and the shot itself may have missed the target, but it was certainly heading in the direction of danger up until Taylor Harwood-Bellis cleared the ball for a corner.
Yeah, it's tough to know whether he was trying to shoot there, Chiesa, or pass to Harvey Elliott, because it was sort of in between the two. Here comes Tsimikas' corner into that near post. Doesn't go any further than that. Sugawara's headed it away. Jota now on the edge of the box. Aribo is strong. Saints pinch it. Fernandes pops it almost over the top. Doesn't quite reach the fast-moving Cameron Archer. Stopped by Morton. Now Liverpool right to left. Start an attack of their own. This is really open. Cross on the right-hand side. Did it go out of play? No. So it's picked up on the left wing instead by Elliott, who can turn and have a look around for options. Tsimikas trying to curl it in, and then the foul by Jota, who had a bit too much of Nathan Wood's shirt, has hauled the Saints defender to the ground. Free kick Southampton, 25 minutes into the second half, so 70 played in total, and it's 2-1 to Liverpool. But Saints have got the ball on the far left hand side on the halfway line, and Fernandes playing it infield for Harwood-Bellis. Franny Benali.
Tempo of the game's certainly lifted now, hasn't it, for both sides. Southampton really having a go at getting that equalising goal in this game. Liverpool seem to have upped the tempo as well, and the supporters have got an opportunity to potentially see a fantastic cup tie.
Look at these two players that Southampton are about to bring on, Franny, in terms of size difference. I don't think I've ever seen two players stand next to each other on the touchline and there be such a difference in height between the very, very small Kamaldeen Sulemana and the immensely tall Paul Onuachu, who I think stands at 6'7", the Saints forward.
Yeah, there's not going to be many bigger than him, I don't think, is there? But yeah, quite a difference between the two of them.
So that Saints double change is impending. We're in the last 20 minutes. Liverpool, who led 2-0 at half-time through the goals from Nunez and Elliott. The Saints have come back in this second half with purpose and perfection as well from that finish from Cameron Archer that has made it Southampton 1, Liverpool 2. And Liverpool, who haven't lost since Nottingham Forest beat them at Anfield 3 months ago. Here's Elliott looking for Nunez, and it's the side of him and running all the way through to Alex McCarthy. I wonder whether we might see Aaron Ramsdale back tonight, but maybe he may come back into the Saints team on Sunday against Fulham, the goalkeeper who's damaged his finger and has missed the last few weeks.
Yeah, quite possibly, Chris. One of those that thankfully there's some quality with McCarthy coming in. Joe Lumley did well for those few games in the Premier League. There's a lot of competition in that place when all the goalkeepers would be fit.
Yeah, and let's not forget that save that Alex McCarthy made as well in that first half at 2-0 Liverpool to deny what looked a nailed-on third from Alexis McAllister. So the Southampton changes, little and large arriving. It's going to be Cameron Archer who's getting a very hearty reception from the Southampton fans, the Saints goal scorer. He's making way for Paul Onuachu. And also, here comes Sulemana, and it is Flynn Downs, who as ever has run himself into the ground in Southampton's midfield.
Yep, those two changes, as you touched on, Sulemana will drop into that midfield area, probably out on the wing a little bit more. Fernandes and Aribo more central for Southampton now. Paul Onuachu, that like-for-like swap with Archer. Hopefully nothing too serious for Southampton's perspective, but Flynn Downs looked like he was a little bit uncomfortable as he left the field.
Oh, here's Onuachu, who's taking it off Tsimikas. Off he goes, the substitute. He's completely on his own. He's run into the penalty area. He's been barged out of room. And Liverpool, not with a great deal of grace initially, managed to play their way out effectively in the end, but then present the ball back to Southampton on the halfway line. Here's Diblin running across the pitch, tripped as he went towards Elliott, but I don't think the foul's been given against Harvey Elliott. It was the one just before that Simon Hooper has spotted. So Southampton free kick, 74 minutes in, Saints 1, Liverpool 2, and it's about 20 yards inside Liverpool's half.
With the personnel, it could have almost been, if it had been a minute earlier and Cameron Archer in that position that Paul Onuachu found himself in, it might have been a different story, because the pace of the two players is very different. Onuachu not able to get away from the Liverpool defenders, but Southampton are just increasing the pressure and the frequency that they're able to get into the Liverpool defence now.
So here comes the free kick then, which Fernandes has sent in. Onuachu with the chance, he's offside. He's offside. He made a bit of a mess of it anyway, the Southampton striker. Heavy touch off the chest, and by that point the ball had run away from him. But either way, whatever had happened, it wouldn't have counted. Liverpool free kick.
Could have been better, as you say. But what it does do for Southampton is it just builds that little bit more confidence, that little bit more belief that they can get something from this. And it was a correct decision, definitely offside, good decision from the officials. And maybe Onuachu's quite pleased that it was given offside, because, as you rightly said, Chris, just made a little bit of a hash of the ball coming into him.
And play is not back underway because Wataru Endo, the Liverpool number 3, is down and holding his shoulder. He's sat down inside his own penalty area at the moment, and there are a couple of members of Liverpool's medical staff that are tending to him at the moment. And obviously Liverpool have only got one change left to make as well. They've made 4 already tonight.
He's done well back there, hasn't he? You know, sort of not really tested too much, I wouldn't have said, but you know, sort of playing in a role that is not sort of one that he would be his preferred choice, I would say, as a midfielder. But yeah, he's, you know, he, like many others, have been very comfortable this evening. But just seeing that other side of what makes a team and a player, you know, when you started to be put under pressure a little bit, when the dynamics and the momentum of a football game changes a little bit, how do the players respond to that then?
So Endo, who is making his way off the pitch, but it doesn't look like Liverpool are going to have to make a change. He's made more League Cup minutes than both Premier League and Champions League combined this season, Endo. Last Premier League appearance was actually here in that 3-2 win for Liverpool last month. So Liverpool with this free kick inside their own penalty area after that offside against Onuachu, with the scoreline Southampton 1, Liverpool 2, and Kelleher, who made that great save to deny Cameron Archer a second goal of the game. With a long kick upfield, the ball has bounced towards Elliott, who's flicked it over the head of Ryan Manning. He's continued his run down the right side, Harvey Elliott, because he's taking it back off Chiesa, and then Manning comes back and wants to leave a bit on Elliott, having been done by that little flick over the head. And out of play it goes for a Liverpool throw.
Yeah, good play from Elliott, driving his team forward up the pitch, winning his side. A throw-in from Liverpool's perspective just gets the team in the right area of the pitch and enables Endo to re-enter the field of play. Yeah,
he's had a really frustrating few months, Harvey Elliott, with that broken bone in his foot that he suffered that has ruled him out for such long periods of the start of this campaign. First Liverpool start for him tonight. Onuachu's lost control of the ball, so Liverpool throw just inside Southampton's half, opposite side to us, far right. Liverpool going from right to left in this second half. And here is Chiesa, one of the Liverpool half-time substitutes, who hasn't really, Franny Benali, been in this game since he's come on after his long absence from first-team football.
No, just looking to really sort of, Liverpool need a bit more from him, certainly from what we've seen in these moments in this match this evening. They've got still some work to do, Liverpool. This is far from over this time.
Nice touch by Sugawara in towards Diblin on the halfway line. Endo with the interception. Endo just running into a bit of traffic. He did have his heels kicked by Sugawara, so it's going to be a free kick. And one Japanese native is happy to help another to his feet. Sugawara lifting Endo up off the ground. And of course there is, Franny, a Japanese link between these two clubs as well, of course. Because the very first Japanese player to play for Liverpool also played for Southampton, Takumi Minamino, a name that you may well remember from a few seasons ago.
Southampton. Yeah.
Between these two clubs as well, of course. Because the very first Japanese player to play for Liverpool also played for Southampton, Takumi Minamino, a name that you may well remember from a few seasons ago.
Southampton, yeah.
Here is the substitute James McConnell, 20-year-old Tynan Weir-born midfielder for Liverpool. With his orange boots on, that's a neat turn from him to take it away from Aribo in the middle of midfield. Now Tsimikas out to this left-hand side for Trey Nioni, who's had a slightly quieter second half compared to his very impactful first 45 minutes. Short pass infield, intercepted by Onuachu inside Southampton's own half. That was good work from the forward to put himself in a position where he could disrupt the flow of the Liverpool build-up. The Saints work it across their back line to this near right-hand side for Sugawara. There's a bit of pressure being put on him and on Bednarek, and I think Harwood-Bellis is just going to have to clear it, which he did, but he didn't get enough on it. Tsimikas has got it for Liverpool. Angle of the penalty area, left-hand side, deep ball towards that far post. Headed away by Woods, picked up by Jota on the edge of the box. Neat touch by Elliott, and Liverpool rebuild from the halfway line with Kwanzaa. Franny Barnali.
Yeah, it looked a promising attack at one point, but just needed to be a little bit higher, a little bit further, deeper cross, and it would have potentially found Elliott on the far post, but they've still got possession of the ball, Liverpool. Yeah,
and Morton just making sure that Sulemana's attempts to run with speed down that left-hand side were stopped at source to get the ball back from Liverpool. And some rising noise coming from the away end. I think Liverpool will certainly feel that there are some games that they have felt more comfort in this season than this one, and I think most expected of a neutral perspective this to be a relatively routine Liverpool win tonight, even with the mass changes from the weekend. 8 for Liverpool tonight. No Salah or Van Dijk or Szoboszlai or Diaz or Gravenberch in the squad tonight, but nevertheless this is a supreme Liverpool machine. But there's only one in it. Saints 1, Liverpool 2. Liverpool throw halfway inside Saints half on the far right.
And those changes that you talk about, Chris, is always going to be measured by the outcome of the game. If you go through and progress in the competition, it's a good decision. If you come unstuck and you don't win the tie, all of a sudden there's criticism. You're open to that criticism then.
Here's Nioni, and now the substitute McConnell for Tsimikas, sending it in from the left-hand side. Tsimikas' cross. Nunez tried the overhead kick. That was ambitious. Picked up again by McConnell. Nioni 5 yards outside the box. Into the feet of Tsimikas. Liverpool
players try and...
Tsimikas, oh my goodness me, sent the ball back to Kelleher, nearly beat him with the pass back to him. The goalkeeper genuinely had to scamper to get to that.
Yeah, that was a little heart in mouth moment from Liverpool.
Southampton have got it again here though. Left hand side, Manning into the box, Aribo at the byline, the pullback, the deflection which bounces off the chest of Nioni, and then Liverpool hurry it away upfield. It's actually a nice ball by Elliott, and then Nunez beaten to it by Harwood-Bellis. Sugawara down the right hand side, infield for Dibling, whose touch let him down, and there's not too often you've seen that from Tyler Dibling this season.
No, it's something that you don't expect to see from him, and it would have been a brilliant opportunity. The area he was in, the space he was in, but his touch let him down. But Saints still on the attack.
Manning's ball into the box, Tsimikas' header away. That might have hit a hand, but I think it was the wrong side of Simon Hooper, so he couldn't see that it struck the arm of Diogo Jota, but he's lost it to the hungry Fernandes. Now Dibling 5 yards outside Liverpool's penalty area. Sugawara, I can see the Liverpool assistant Sipka Holshoff down there urging his Liverpool team just to move up a bit. Southampton trying to pin him in. Sulemana, left wing, low ball, Onuachu, oh, he's missed his opportunity, went to sweep it in with his left foot and he's missed his opportunity and he couldn't quite take his chance. We are heading on to 5 Live very shortly here at St Mary's, so stay tuned for further coverage here on 5 Live Sports Extra with us at Saints 1, Liverpool 2 here. Steve, thank you very much. Southampton 1, Liverpool 2 is the scoreline here. So the team at the bottom of the Premier League are mounting a second half comeback against the 19-match unbeaten Liverpool, who were 2-0 up from first half goals from Darwin Nunez and Harvey Elliott. But a cracking finish from Cameron Archer just before the hour, and a brilliant save not long after that from Kelleher to deny Archer his second. And this much changed Liverpool team tonight, Franny Benali, for the first time tonight, after a very cosy first 45 minutes, feel like they're rocking a bit and they're under pressure here. Long ball forward, Sugawara's ball across the box, blocked by Tsimikas, out for a Southampton throw deep inside Liverpool's half on the right. We've got 6 minutes to go and it's Saints 1, Liverpool 2.
Yeah, and they've just made a couple of changes as well in that little break. Ben Brereton Diaz coming on, as well as Adam Lallana. Jan Bednarek coming off, Joe Aribo coming off. And the Saints supporters are right behind their team now, and what an opportunity that was for Paul Onuachu. That was the one moment that you think, there's your chance to get back on level terms, and he just scuffed his effort.
Yeah, here comes the Southampton throw. Sugawara, it's in towards the very tall Onuachu at 6'7", and the flag is up for an offside. There was a cluster of bodies inside that penalty area. Impossible to see who exactly has been penalised. But just before you joined us here on 5 Live, as Franny was alluding to, what a huge opportunity for the substitute Paul Onuachu, still looking for his first Southampton goal. A pullback from Aribo, and he went to slide it in with his left foot, and he just got it all wrong, didn't he, Franny?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big player, and it's difficult. You sort of see him move around the pitch, and maybe not as sort of quick and as nimble as what a smaller player would be. You know, he's got those long limbs and long levers to try and move and react quickly to, and he didn't seem to be able to do that quick enough when the ball was rolled across the 6-yard box to him, and it's got to go down as a big chance.
I'll give you the teams in just a moment, because Morton is having to chase to keep that in play. He can't over in that right back area, so it's going to be a Southampton throw. Liverpool have just made the last of their 5 changes, by the way, and they have brought on Jayden Dans. So he's come on for Trey Neone, the 17-year-old who's making his first Liverpool start tonight. Chiesa's on, he came on at half-time, his return to the Liverpool team. He's come on at half-time, first appearance since the 25th of September. In comes the Southampton throw into the penalty area, headed away by McConnell, and eventually out of play for a Southampton corner. So let's quickly go to that Champions League game tonight between Arsenal women and Bayern Munich. Sahel Sahi.
She's about to run up to strike the ball. It was her shot which was deflected away using a hand by Bayern Munich. Here she comes, right-footed. She puts Arsenal into the lead. They lead Bayern Munich by 3-2.
Sahel, thank you very much. So that means that Arsenal are going to top that group if things stay as they are. Elsewhere tonight in the EFL Cup, Arsenal 3, Crystal Palace 2, a hat-trick from Gabriel Jesus. Newcastle, if you've been hearing, at St James's Park, through to their latest League Cup semi-final, beating Brentford by 3-1. Sandro Tonali with a double in that game for them. And here, Southampton 1, Liverpool 2, though McCarthy, under pressure from Nunez, had to quickly shift that ball out of his feet. It's picked up by Jayden Dans, the Liverpool substitute on this left-hand side. Here's Jota, and now Tsimikas with the hair tied back, the Greek, who's back into the Liverpool team tonight. And with Jota as another one who's come off the bench for Liverpool. Nunez on the edge of the box, on his right foot, shoots, well blocked by Nathan Wood, the Southampton defender, got down on one knee, and the ball ricochets out of play, far right-hand side. It's a Liverpool throw, and we're inside the last 2 minutes, and Liverpool getting on with that throw quickly, trying to find a third goal to finish Southampton off. They've got it with McConnell. McConnell shoots, that's repelled, and up it bounces to Paul Onuachu, holding on to the ball for Southampton, and then getting it to the right-hand side for Sulemana, who's got a bit of time to turn and have a look and see what's on. He's now inside Liverpool's half, Kamaldeen Sulemana. He's getting away from Dans. He's extremely quick, Sulemana. Sugawara taking it on. Southampton going from left to right, trailing by 2-1. Fernandes, far post, Brereton Diaz's header, right at Kelleher. Just had to move a little to his left-hand side, Liverpool's Irish goalkeeper, to make a relatively routine save.
It's a more direct attack from Southampton, and the tempo and the pace of the game has certainly picked up in the second half of the game. And there's a ball into the box, could well have been an offside, but Brereton Diaz at the far post, trying to head back across goal, goes into the hands of Kelleher.
Here's Fernandes, 1-2 in midfield with Lallana. There was a late challenge from James McConnell, which out of everybody, I don't think Adam Lallana, the former Liverpool player, liked particularly. And then Fernandes, who was still getting back to his feet, was given the ball back when he didn't really want it because he was still trying to recover from the challenge. Gives it back to McCarthy. Upfield it goes, out of play, Liverpool throw, halfway line, and now a yellow card for Liverpool's 20-year-old midfielder James McConnell. Joined from Sunderland as an under-15 back in 2016. Played in that EFL Cup final against Chelsea back in February for Liverpool. The champions 2-1 up here against Southampton. Last 30 seconds plus stoppage time in the swirling rain and the wind, Franny Benali, that have made conditions so difficult tonight at St Mary's.
Well, with Southampton getting that goal back from Cameron Archer, it's certainly lifted this game into more of a cup tie.
Here's Jota, support on the right hand side. Nunez wants it in the middle, so does Dans. The low shot blocked on the line. I think McCarthy was beaten, and then the follow up from Chiesa is deflected over the bar. It's going to be a corner. Southampton getting bodies in the way. They needed to do that. Chiesa so close to a Liverpool goal on his return. Liverpool have got a corner, and we're now in 6 minutes of stoppage time at 2-1.
Chiesa doing well, cutting in on his left hand foot. Potentially going past Alex McCarthy, and Harwood Bellis doing well on the line to clear it, and then it's Sugawara who got the second block in. The defending work to be done by Southampton. The direct balls into the box from corners and free kicks this evening have been picked up by the swirling wind, and we're going to see another long one in the box.
Yeah, Jota's corner, the punch from McCarthy, that was really authoritative from the Southampton goalkeeper. Almost got it up towards the halfway line. That's where McConnell, the Liverpool midfielder, is waiting. Now Tsimikas swings the left boot at it, closed down by Sulemana, who had to come off very early here at the weekend. Kamaldeen Sulemana, with Southampton's game plan in tatters against Tottenham. Conceded 5 first half goals, but at 3-0 inside a quarter of an hour, Russell Martin changed the shape and took Sulemana off, which, as you can imagine, he was not particularly happy about. Tsimikas takes the throw into the feet of Jayden Dans, son of Neil Dans, who you might remember from a few years ago having a great career of his own. His dad at the top level. And it's another Liverpool throw. Tsimikas to take it from this left-hand side there. 2-1 up here, Liverpool. And Dan's doing well, holding off his man, giving it to Nunez. Ran into traffic, the Liverpool forwards. And now Southampton try and break, but it is Brereton Diaz. There's nobody really to find. He did well just to get that ball to Onuachu. And then Adam Lallana tries to play a pass, and it's hit Onuachu. And eventually it breaks for Harwood Bellis, who sweeps it very accurately out to the left-hand side for Manning. 2-1 Liverpool. And Saints trying to mount something in these final few moments to take this game to penalties. Remember, there is no extra time. Swung from the left out towards the right, too high for Diblin in that forward right wing position, and out for a Liverpool throw. Franny Benali.
It's a real shame from Southampton's perspective. Promising attack. Fernandes just trying to switch the ball out to Diblin on this right hand side. They're attacking the northern wall, the noisy part of St Mary's.
And Liverpool, who have left a host of big names back in Merseyside tonight. Salah, Van Dijk, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Diaz, none of them are part of this Liverpool squad. Here's a long ball forward, it might bounce for Fernandes for Saints. Oh, Fernandes wants a penalty. It's waved away by Simon Hooper. It was Kwanzaa, I think, alongside Fernandes, who's ended up on the ground, who was in on goal, and much of St Mary's feel that should potentially have been, well, it would have been a red card, I think, for Kwanzaa. It might have been a penalty had it been in the box as well. What are your thoughts on that, Franny?
Well, it would be very interesting to see a replay of it again, but my reaction was it was a foul, and that's just not my allegiance to Southampton, but it certainly looked it from our position here in the stand, Chris. It'd be great to see another opportunity, but you're right.
Here come Liverpool, Jota in the box, Jota on the stretch, and did that take a touch on its way behind? It did. Sugawara with the defending. It's come off the Southampton man. It's going to be a Liverpool corner, but you can hear the boos coming from St Mary's. And now, Franny, you're having the first time to review this. Long kick forward from McCarthy. They were together, weren't they? Kwanzaa and Fernandes. Did Fernandes get ahead of Gerald Kwanzaa, the Liverpool defender there?
Well, he does, because I think the arm of the defender is across and over his shoulder. He's gone down fairly easy, but the referee's right there on the position. He waves it away. immediately, but it's one of those decisions that could...
6 minutes of stoppage time, and Liverpool not in a great rush to take this throw. And Mateus Fernandes is still shaking his head here, and he's biting his Southampton shirt in frustration. The Saints midfielder.
Exactly, it's a foul. I think it's enough for a foul. It's anywhere else on the pitch it's given, I think.
He's channeled his frustration well there, though, Fernandes, because he's nicked that ball back off Darwin Nunez. So it's going to be a Southampton throw in their right back area in stoppage time. Saints 1, Liverpool 2. If you're just joining us tonight on 5 Live, Nunez and Elliott with the Liverpool goals in the first half. The response from Cameron Archer with his goal just before the hour for Saints. Liverpool might be able to finish it here. It's over the top of the crossbar. Harvey Elliott from the edge of the box, too high. Southampton goal kick, and there might still be one chance in this game for Southampton, bottom of the Premier League, against Liverpool at the top on this 19-game unbeaten run.
Yeah, certainly in the early stages, Liverpool dominating the first half, taking that 2-0 lead, looking comfortable at half-time. And as we see so often, how a goal changes a game. It's shifted the dynamics of it. It's brought the supporters to life of both teams. It's brought the players on the pitch to life as well. And Southampton have been much more in it. They've showed much more in the second half than what they did in the first.
Arne Slot not on the touchline tonight. He's right behind us, and I mean that quite literally. He's 2 rows behind us, the Liverpool manager, in the press box here at St Mary's with his laptop in front of him. I can turn around and I can see him because he's only about a metre away from me as Sugawara switches it for Southampton from the right out to the left. Here's Manning. We're in the 6th minute of stoppage time. Saints 1, Liverpool 2, so it has to happen here for Southampton if they're to get an equaliser. Kwanzaa clears it away. It's up to the halfway line. Jota's got it for Southampton, for Liverpool, trying to push it on for Nunez, who's held off his marker, Darwin Nunez. He's got options in the middle. Liverpool might be able to finish the game here. Nunez has run into some trouble. He's given it to Dans. He's got it back. He's shot low. It's wide of the post. It's a goal kick, but that is the 6 minutes of stoppage time minimum played. So this is it now for Saints. It's a goal kick, but McCarthy needs to move it quick.
Yeah, probably going to be the full-time whistle any moment, but Southampton is certainly going to look back on that incident feeling that Liverpool should have been a man down, and there it is.
Liverpool into the semi-finals of the League Cup, and for Arne Slot, a smile on his face as he is shepherded away from us, just behind us in the press area by a couple of security guards, the Liverpool manager. He is on course perhaps for a trophy-laden season in his first campaign as Liverpool manager. Nunez and Elliott with the first half goals. Liverpool were very comfortably 2-0 up at half-time. Cameron Archer's great strike for Saints made it interesting in the second half. Plenty of fight from Southampton off the back of the departure of their manager Russell Martin at the week.